Welcome to the 8672 podcast. I'm Chris.
It's Wise, peace.
We back again. Another week, another convo. You said last week you wanted to start with Meghan Markle, so you go ahead. What you want to talk about?
Nah, that shit is just bugged out. Like, how everybody flipping on her right now, cause you know what I'm saying. She said there was a lot of disparaging remarks about her and her soon-to-be child and everything, and that it was coming from inside Buckingham Palace. You know what I'm saying?
It was like the aunt and everything.
It was damn near the whole family, but they found out, or at least they saying that the Queen ain't say nothing. But what's my man's name? The dude from the reporter.
Piers Morgan.
Yeah. Calling her a liar and all this kind of crazy shit.
You seen this shit with Sharon Osbourne on the
Nah, what she said?
Nah, so like they and I'm blanking on the lady that she was talking to. I think Cheryl. I think is her first name. But Sharon Osbourne flipped on her.
Flipped on who?
On her. Like when they were talking about it, and she was like, "Don't even cry. I'm the one who should be feeling." She was basically trying to say that she's the victim in the situation, defending Piers Morgan because that's her people, like that's her friend. So and they was because of what they apparently the conversation was going around like all of the attacks that he's been like going at Meghan Markle, and they was discussing that. I don't watch the show. I just saw the clip.
Well, he did it on live TV.
Yeah. No, I mean I didn't see any of that.
I saw that. He did it on live TV, and he flipped on the dude that was talking and asking him why would he say the things that he was saying about Meghan Markle, and was it like racist type stuff? And he flipped out and flipped on the dude, and it just so happened the dude that was on the show talking to him was black too.
Yeah. I didn't see. I just saw what like the little clip of Sharon Osbourne, but she was basically defending Piers Morgan. It was crazy, like watching it, because it was like she was like, name one thing that he's ever done that you can say is racist or whatever like that. That's what Sharon Osbourne was saying. But that situation is crazy, like, and it really puts you in like I'm blanking on the word that I'm wanting to use, but it's a common thing that we see, like when you have these situations where you have something happens where there's clear mistreatment towards a person of color, a black person. We bring up the issue, and then it's kind of spun like white people get offended by the fact that we're offended by the mistreatment. Like we're supposed to just take the mistreatment and not say nothing about it, or they don't want to have the conversation about it. And it's like, yo, like we gotta have a conversation. I'm not just gonna keep sweeping this under the rug. You know what I mean? Like if it's happening, it's happening, and don't piss on my head and call it rain. You know what I mean? Like
right.
That's the situation it is. Like there's no reason for you to get defensive. Like I understand that Piers Morgan is your friend, but the fact is, like, what basis does he have to call Meghan Markle a liar? You know what I'm saying? Like if you go flip.
Well, according to what they've been saying, that the media over there been pretty much running everything that goes on in the palace and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess he feel, I don't know what he really feel, but it's obvious that he feels that he has a right to his opinion on things that he may not know to be true.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or he don't know if it's false. But for her to come out and make the statements that she made, I don't see her just lying like that.
Yeah,
And the fact that her husband removed her from that situation speaks volumes too.
Right.
You know what I mean? As far as like, and I'm gonna tell you something. This is where this whole internet shit, everything ain't funny. You know what I'm saying? And everything.
You talking about the memes and shit that came out of it?
Yeah, like grandma and you got a black baby sitting on a white woman's lap and shit like that. That ain't funny. You know what I mean? Because one thing that kid gonna have to do, that kid gonna have to grow up with this shit the rest of his life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be like, yo, you know, you cause a whole stir, which that kid ain't caused nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
He's just gonna reap the.
He ain't reaping. He's gonna deal with the insecurities that people got of his complexion, his nationality. You know what I'm saying? Or his ethnicity. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy. You know what I mean? But it's just a bugged out situation. You know what I mean? But
has her family spoke on it at all?
Nah, you know, sometimes, and see, that's where it bothers me, because sometimes, like I said a couple of episodes ago, a whole lot of times, we just want to get along to go along, man. We don't want to speak to that issue, man. And that's a real fucking issue. Like, you know what I'm saying? Her family, I tell you what, if it was my daughter, I'd be speaking to it.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'll be speaking to it because, you know what I'm saying, you disturbing my daughter's peace and my grandchild's peace for what?
Yeah, nah, that's why I asked, like, if our family spoke on it, because it is their...
If they did, I ain't see.
I haven't saw it either, that's why I asked. It is their place to do so. Like you said, their daughter is disturbing their peace, is disturbing her child's peace, and it's something that needs to be spoken about. Like, she's in a situation where she's gonna have insecurities and that have come from the situation. The child's gonna have insecurities. It's not gonna grow up in a normal environment where it's like you have like free flowing love from both sides of the family, because even if that situation was to get patched up, it ain't ever gonna be patched up. Because
Meghan Markle shouldn't have no insecurities, because she is who she is, and that's that.
No, but when I say she's going to have insecurities, like, not saying that she won't continue to be who she is, but you're going to naturally have insecurities if you're in a situation where you're living amongst people who don't like you for reasons that you can't control. Like, that's
if that's the case, then I don't know where she grew up. Growing up black, guess what? You grow up around people that don't like you.
I understand that, and we have natural insecurities.
Listen,
we do.
Our insecurities, well, I can speak for me. My insecurities don't come from whether a motherfucker like me or not.
No,
I can care less if you like me.
But you're talking, like, we all say that, but our actions show different. And I'm talking about insecurities that you don't even realize that you have until you put in certain situations and those things come out. Like, that's a deeper conversation, but that goes to, like, where we talk about the trauma of black people. Like, that's insecurities. We act the way we act. The way we act towards each other is insecurities. Being like, when you talk about black on black crime, that's insecurities that's embedded into our culture, because we're always in competition with each other. And that competition spills over into violence. That's insecurities within the people.
But if that's how you want to speak, that goes to that person that has that insecurity themselves. I'm speaking for me.
Do you not think slavery and the systematic racism has a trickling effect throughout the lineage of black people?
It does.
That's what I'm talking about.
What I look at is, once again, goes back to education. A lot of black people don't want to know who the fuck they are, because they've been told who they were for so long that they just believe it. So if she gonna walk around here and be like, yo, I'm insecure because I'm around these people, guess what? Get a divorce. You ain't gotta be around them people.
I don't think you understand what I mean by insecurities. I'm not talking about like that. Like, that's very surface level. I'm not talking about surface level insecurities. I'm not talking about, like, yo, I'm shy to talk here. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about systematic things that have been embedded in you. You think a certain way, and you don't even realize the way that you think is altered by how your people have been treated for generations past. That's what I'm talking about. That's insecurity.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, that's stuff that you don't even realize you're doing.
But what that is once again, uneducated people living off what was done. Because if you're going to say that's an insecurity, then guess what? It'll be a whole lot of motherfucking black people out here wanting to do and build up the black community, period. And build up another black Wall Street. And that would be a total insecurity because black people wasn't doing shit to black people. We was living in I didn't live in it, but they was living in a time where guess what? The community was all about we gonna build us. And they was coming in destroying our communities. We wasn't
right.
We didn't
but that's
care
the opposite of insecurity when you do that.
But this is what I'm saying.
Right, that's not happening right now.
Hold on. That's why I said it's uneducated people that don't want to know what it is. A lot of these people that when you talk about their insecurities, you go outside and ask a lot of these people, they don't know about Black Wall Street.
All right, so
they don't know about.
So what you're basically saying, you're using a lot of words to say the one word that I'm saying.
I'm saying that she shouldn't have no insecurities because if she grew up in America as a black person, she dealt with the prejudices and all of that. So what it makes you is, to me, it makes you stronger.
That's not true. That's like saying somebody who grew up.
So then guess what?
That's like saying that somebody who grew up fat and is fat as an adult shouldn't be insecure about their weight because they've been fat all their life. That doesn't happen.
But that's a different. Hold on.
It's not.
I'm gonna tell you that's different.
All right.
I'm gonna tell you why that's different.
Right.
That's the difference of people that you be around laughing and joking and you become the butt of the jokes. So now that makes a person insecure about their self-conscious and things of that nature because everything was a joke and the people you thought was cool with you making you the butt of the joke. Hold on. These people ain't making you the butt of a joke today. They've been saying for the longest that they don't give a fuck about you. So why would I be insecure about what this person over here think about me when I know myself and I study to know who I am and who they are and what they believe, what they know of me. They know me. They know my history. They don't know their history because they don't have one.
I'm not saying that
so
you're wrong.
We
don't understand what I mean by insecurity, though. You're not.
I'm asking you to explain.
I'm saying that what you just said is if that was true, that would be the same situation. What I'm saying is this. I'm asking you this question right now. If you walk into a room right now, right, and I know you've been in rooms like this before, where you're the only black person, do you feel the same way that you feel when you're in a room with all black people?
As far as what?
Just you yourself.
As far as conversation-wise and things
anything. Do you feel any different?
I'm being in a room where I'm the only black person,
or if you all around.
Hold on. I walk in the room the same way I would if it's all black people.
Okay.
Now, if you choose not to speak to me because I'm the only black person, guess what? I'm going to sit down and do what I would normally do if I'm in a room full of black people, with the exception of having a conversation.
I think you're fronting.
What?
There's certain things that you're going to do
I'll
in the
tell
room.
you what. This is what we can do.
Okay.
And we can't do it now for the purposes of where we on. Tomorrow, we will go on a 3-way call, and motherfuckers will tell you, because guess what?
That's what I said. You're not understanding what I'm saying. I'm not talking about surface level.
Yeah, I'm not talking about surface level.
Okay. All right. I
don't understand what you mean.
I don't think I can. To be honest, I can't really explain to you what I'm saying. I think in a way that you'll understand it.
Hold on. As me, I can tell you right now.
All right.
Getting on the fire department.
Yeah.
My whole class was black.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. Hold on. They was all black. It was one white dude, but he left. Now, when we got high, once we graduated, what nobody saw. Number one, it was one dude that was in the group that was predominantly white. Okay? But most of the firehouses, it was more whites than blacks. So we coming around as a new guy where you being told by blacks and whites, being a rookie or what they call a probationary firefighter, you don't speak, you don't say nothing unless you spoken to, whatever, right? Now, you go in a firehouse, which I didn't know. I walked in the kitchen and was like, good morning. Nobody said nothing to me. Poured a cup of coffee, you know what I'm saying? Drunk the coffee, sat down, and I was looking at Sports Center, what they was looking at. They started turning the TV. So I was like, yo, you going to leave the TV on one channel, or you just turning the TV because you want me to leave? Because I ain't going nowhere. And the dude told me, after a couple of weeks, you know what he told me? You're going to have to change your attitude because one day this job is going to flip over where you're going to become the majority, but then it's going to flip again where you become the minority. We seeing what the culture is turning into. They want to make the job look like the citizens of Mount Vernon. where before it was a lot of white guys. So we don't understand your conversation or nothing. And you come in and you talking to everybody like we understand you, we don't. So I was like, okay, well, all you got to do is ask me what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Period. I'm not changing who I am for you.
That's why I don't think you really understand what I'm saying. Like, if that's true, if what you saying right now... let me finish my statement. With that, if you saying that's true, then some of the stuff that you said before can't be true.
As far as what?
If you saying, as a black person, you grew up in a world where you said Meghan Markle grew up in an environment where people don't like you, right?
Right.
So you know why people don't like you, right? So then, if knowing that, if you in a room with all white people as the only black person, you're at least thinking that way. So you're not the same way that you would be going into a room of all black people.
No,
that's an insecurity.
No, it ain't. And I'm gonna tell you why. You want me to tell you why what you're saying is wrong?
Okay.
And like you're making my point funny.
That
is because of this. When people go in a room knowing that people don't like them, the one thing that I do, I'm very sarcastic and I love being me because I know it's going to piss you off because you're trying to piss me off. So me being me is aggravating the fuck out of you.
But you're doing that because you know that they don't like you.
It's black people that I'll do that.
But I'm just saying, you're in any environment. Secure means that you know you're comfortable. You don't have to do anything outside.
Hold on.
All right, I'm going to give you the definition of insecurity.
You can look up the definition
I'm
all you want. Insecure is when you're going to go around doing things that you normally would not do.
And in an environment where you didn't feel uncomfortable, you wouldn't do that.
Listen to me. When I walk in the room, and you've been around me in the rooms where we all black, will I go in there and crack a joke? I'm asking the question.
Yeah, you will.
Okay then. So if I come in a room full of white people that I know that don't like me, and I crack a joke, I know you're pissed off.
Right, you are. You do know that.
So
but you're doing it for a different reason is my point. You're doing it because the motivation behind you doing that is different.
Insecurity.
You're not confident or assured, uncertain or anxious. You're anxious and you're cracking jokes out of anxiety.
Okay, if that's what you want to say.
That is what you're doing.
Okay, guess what? Then if that's what it is, and that's what you think, then go ahead. I'm gonna say okay.
I'm not saying.
I'm gonna say I agree with you.
I think
if she gonna feel away,
then
guess what? She needs to get out of that situation.
You're right, but what I'm saying is we all in that situation. It's like you said in society. Period. You can't tell me as a black person if you go in a room with all white people, you don't at least feel anxious. I'm not saying you feel less than. Insecure does not mean you feel less than. Like the definition.
A lot of times it do.
But that's not the only. But that's not the only definition of insecure. I just read it to you.
You just said it don't.
But I'm not saying it doesn't mean it all the time.
Okay.
It does not all the time mean you feel you're less than. That's why I say you don't understand what I'm saying by insecure.
Okay.
If you feel anxious in a room or anxious anywhere, that's an insecurity.
But I could be anxious in a room full of black people.
That's fine. That's an insecurity. I'm just comparing it to this situation.
But what I'm saying is this. If you feeling away because the reason why she's gonna feel anxious now is because she thought it was gonna be something other than what it was.
That's fine, but that's not my point.
Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
Okay, so then if you grew up knowing that they don't like you, what reason would you have to think that it would be something other than what it is?
I don't know. But I'm just saying it. All I'm saying is that's not my point. My point is she's gonna have insecurity.
Okay, so she's gonna be anxious in a room around people that she thought. That means she went in there thinking that it was gonna be something other than what it is. She thought that this would never happen. She's taking.
Let me rephrase that. Let me rephrase that. Because I don't 100% agree with you saying that she should go into that situation thinking that they all not gonna like her, because I don't agree with that. That you should just assume that all white people don't like you. I don't think you should assume that.
I ain't say all.
But you did though.
Let me clarify that. You know a majority, and once again, everybody ain't white.
Right.
And everybody that claim to be white because what they put on applications.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that your skin look white, you're white.
I understand that, but that's not what we're talking about.
What I'm saying is this. So you go in a room where you know that them people never dealt with us. And when I say us, black people on a whole, or had to deal with that, where it's popularized, it's worldwide, that now you gotta, for the sake of for lack of a better word, an African American marrying into royalty. Okay? So you know there's gonna be people, I don't give a fuck what nobody say, like people would say, oh yeah, girl, go ahead, go. No, there's gonna be some people sitting there like she don't deserve that. No matter what the fuck we do in America, you could be a basketball player like LeBron. You could do anything that you want to be in America, entertainer, any form. You still ain't shit in certain people's eyes. So for you to think that anything would be different, that's your fault.
I don't agree with that statement.
Okay.
Because she's not judging that situation off of everybody. Like, she's only judging it off of what people have shown her to her face, because that's all she can. She might have that in the back of her mind, but she can't go into that situation and fully give herself to her husband if she was thinking that way going into it.
Well,
she can't.
Listen, you judge.
And I say that because I'm in a unique situation where I'm in. No.
Let me stop you because I'm gonna speak to what you just said first.
All right, go ahead.
She could love that man. And there's people that are in relationships that same cultural background and everything that the in-laws don't get along with them, period.
Yeah.
So don't say that she can't give herself to her husband if she's looking at it that he showed her. Hold on. He showed her that he loved her. They didn't show her nothing.
No, I understand that. That's not, but I'm talking about going into the situation, right? Going into the situation. When you agree to marry somebody, you also agree to marry their family. Whether y'all fuck with each other or not, that's a fact. Like, you're not getting away from, like, he has a mom and dad, you have a mom and dad. That shit's not going anywhere. You're not getting away from that. Like I said, I'm in a unique situation. I'm also in an interracial relationship. So, in order for me to fully give myself to my wife, I can't go into that situation like thinking or at the forefront of my mind like, yo, like, her family may feel this way. You know what I'm saying? I give them the benefit of the doubt until I'm shown different. That's what Meghan Markle did. She went into the situation giving them the benefit of the doubt until she was shown something different. Had she not gone into that situation like that, she would not have been able to fully immerse herself into that. I
disagree.
You haven't been in that situation.
No, what I'm looking at is period. You making it interracial.
That is what it is.
Hold on.
That's what we're talking about.
I know what we're talking about, but you making the circumstance of her loving her husband, him loving her, and involving everybody else.
Ain't that what the beef is with the family?
Hold on. The beef is with the family. The beef ain't with them two.
The beef is the fact that they have a baby that's not
Listen
look
to
like
what
them.
I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying.
Yes.
And listen very carefully.
I'm listening to you.
She gave herself to him.
All right.
He gave himself to her.
Okay.
So his family chose to be who they are.
Yeah.
He still removed himself and his wife, giving himself to his wife.
Yeah.
They ain't got nothing to do with his family.
You talking about after the fact. I'm talking about from the very beginning.
But listen to what I'm saying.
I am.
You're not, when you met your wife and you agreed to marry her,
yeah.
Whether her parents liked it or not,
right.
Whether your parent liked it or not,
right.
Y'all gave each other to each other.
Right. That's
okay.
Because now, I'm not thinking about all other shit.
This is my point. But now, this is what I'm saying. But you can't go into a relationship saying, I'm going to give myself to him or I'm going to give myself to her, and it ain't going to be somebody on his side or her side that might not agree, so therefore I'm going to have an insecurity with him. You giving yourself
that's not what I'm talking about, insecurity. You put insecurity in that part. That's not what I'm talking about insecurity. I said insecurities from the situation that we're dealing with right now.
What you just said was, if you go into a situation thinking like that, you can't fully give yourself to them.
You can't. Because you're not focusing on the most important thing.
I disagree.
If you're focusing on the family, you just said it. They don't have nothing to do with
this is my point.
So that's what I'm saying. She's not focusing on them. She's dealing with them at face value.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. Face value, that guess what? I'm giving myself to you, you giving yourself to me. Your family might not like it. I don't give a fuck.
You're not thinking like that. That's why I say you don't understand it because you're not
in it. Look at it.
But you're not in
I'm not talking interracial.
That's what we're dealing with.
No,
it's different.
That's not true.
It is. It is.
That's not true.
If they wasn't interracial, we wouldn't be talking about this shit.
Hold on. You're right.
So what are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about to the point that you said you cannot give yourself to somebody knowing that or thinking that her family might not like you, and that's not true.
You can't.
That's not true.
Because that shit's always going to be on your mind.
True.
It fucks you up.
That's not true.
Yeah, it will.
Okay.
Yes, it will.
Well, I can tell you from me. I don't know about nobody else. I'm talking about me.
I call bullshit on that.
What bullshit?
I call bullshit on that. Because if
You don't let me talk.
Good.
Now, you don't know my situation.
Good.
My in-laws didn't like me at all. Didn't know me from a can of paint.
Okay.
But I gave myself to my wife.
You
Because
did.
guess what? I didn't give a fuck what nobody thought.
Right.
In due time, you will know who the fuck I am, and I'm going to know who you are, whether you like me or not. I don't give a fuck about what you're doing. I know you don't like me.
Mm-hmm.
But now, guess what? You know what? I was wrong. Because, what I thought about you ain't who I thought you're not who I thought you were. But that don't have nothing to do with me and her.
It's not the same situation.
Shit. Okay.
It's not.
All right.
It's not.
So
man.
the only thing that makes it different is because it's interracial?
What's the beef in this situation?
The beef was they didn't like her because he's having a baby. He's in an interracial relationship, period. And they didn't like her. And they started letting it be known. So that was their beef. But a family not liking you could be any reason.
It's not the same as interracial. Right. It's not.
You can make it that way. I think that's an excuse.
No, it's not. That's what we're dealing with. You're not dealing with nothing else but the fact that they don't like her or some shit that she can't change.
Okay. Well, guess what? I agree to disagree.
Like that. What are we talking about?
I think that, at the end of the day, she should have known that it was not going to be peaches and cream. She thought it was going to be peaches and cream. She gave herself to him. He gave herself to her.
I don't think she necessarily thought it was peaches and cream.
She
just wasn't even thinking about that.
Guess what? It wouldn't be nothing to talk about.
I disagree that it's nothing to talk about, especially from a woman's perspective.
So let me ask you a question. Out of all of this, now that it happened, what are we getting out of it?
You want to talk about
it? No, I'm asking you, what do you get out of it? It's something to come out of this.
Huh?
It's something to come out of this.
What do we get out of this situation?
Yeah.
I didn't get anything out of this situation.
You know why? Because you're not looking at it like that. You're not looking at it from a standpoint of, motherfuckers don't like you for who you are. Like I just said, they know your history. You know theirs. They don't know this.
So like I said,
all they know is the outer line.
Did you not know that going into the situation? You knew that, right?
Who?
You already had that frame of mind going in, right?
When she was married to him? Yeah.
So you got nothing out of the situation. I just said
I got something out of it that she could have got out of it. That I hope she do learn.
You said when did we get out of the situation?
Everybody should get something out of it that didn't understand that. That don't understand things like that.
What did we get out? I said
hold on. I'm going to tell you. Why do you think that they don't like us?
Because we are superior.
Okay then.
Yeah.
So therefore, everybody don't know that. Everybody don't believe that. Just like everybody that go to church don't believe that when the Bible tells you that God is the Son of Man. Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
I don't know.
All right then. So everybody ain't trying to learn that. They just read and listen to what somebody else. Somebody that you are made in the image of God.
Right.
So guess what? At the end of the day, they know that. But they want to teach you and tell you that you're other than who you are, and we walk around here believing with somebody that. But
that's where you talk about but that's another conversation too.
I don't think. How you think
No, because that's not just.
You just sat here and said that.
No. Let me finish. Because where you going now? That's another conversation.
No, I'm not going nowhere. I'm staying right there.
No, you are. But what you're talking about, they teaching, is not just white people teaching that.
I just said that.
I didn't hear you say that. You said they.
I said they, so that means everybody. I would have said white.
But we dealing with white versus
what
black.
I'm saying is, okay, let's keep it white and black and then they. Listen to what I'm saying.
I am listening to you. That's what
white people don't know their history.
Okay.
They know the surface of where everything comes from. But then again, let me not say that. They know that they come from us. Okay?
So not everybody knows that.
Hold on.
Like you just said. I'm
going to tell you why they would know that. Because no matter what religion that you deal with, all the books, we agreed a couple of episodes ago that where did the root of civilization start?
Yeah.
So they know that. They can't go to Florida without getting skin cancer. You telling me you're going to live on the equator and you're going to be able to survive?
I get you. I'm agreeing with you.
Let's stay there.
What I'm saying is, why do we have white Jesus around here then?
Why do we have that?
Yeah.
Because slavery, like I said, that's where they come in.
agreeing with you. I'm just getting you to explain
and get to understand that the root of civilization started not on, it was in the continent of what we call Africa now, but the continent is really called Asia. Because if you know anything, they call in black people that are Asian, Pan-Asians.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Asia was the continent of Africa. But like I told you, earthquakes and all that, now that's a different topic. Where the world was broke up and you had the different bodies of water break up the land and things of that nature, and then it was renamed, oh, this is Asia over here, this is Africa, this is that, and the third. Fine, that's another whole another topic. But the root of civilization came from dark people being on the planet and being here dominant.
Right.
I don't care if you want to say you African American, the Africans, Indians, Mexicans, all the Caribbean people.
Right.
We all the same.
Right.
Okay? Now, this is something that they know. We didn't come from apes and things of that nature. So what they did was everything, like you said a couple of episodes ago, not just America though, you said America was built on thievery and things of that nature, correct? All kind of scams and things of that nature to build their, generational wealth.
Yeah.
So being that you know that, why would you look at them and think they would think anything other than you, then make you feel inferior to them?
That's why I say everybody don't know that.
Okay, now let's go back today. The reason people know it, but they don't want to learn that. They don't want, the ones that do know it want to teach you, oh, like you said, Jesus is a blonde haired, blue eyed figure, and this, that, and the third. But if you read every book,
right, he's not described as that.
How would you describe?
And
who does that describe?
A black man.
All right then.
Yeah.
So guess what? People know it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: knowing and accepting and understanding it is totally different.
Yeah.
You can know something, just like right now. You hear me talking, but that don't mean you're listening.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not saying you personally.
No, I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
A person, like people looking at this podcast, they're going to take what they want. That's what they're listening to. You understand what I'm saying? But hearing and listening is two things. Knowing and understanding and comprehending, two separate things.
Yeah. I kind of agree with you on that, but I would say there are some people that don't know, and I'm not saying it's they don't want to know.
But how could you not know that?
Huh? I honestly don't know how you could not.
If you were educated anywhere in this world,
yeah,
how could you not know?
I don't know, but what I'm saying is, I just think it's too, like, everything that we're taught, like, or they try to teach us, well, maybe, no, I'll take back what I said as people don't know. I'll go back and agree with you as far as they don't want to understand. No, like, so,
it's easier to go along and get along.
Me saying, the word no to me is, I'm lumping no in with understanding. You're separating it. So, to go along with what you're saying, I'll say people know, but they don't understand, or they don't want to understand.
Right.
Because everybody has heard the description of, like, the origination of man and things of that sort. And then they throw the whole science thing in there, and like the.
They even try to say that the first people were apes. But
yeah,
like
that's
science. If you go back to any book that religiously you read, it tells you that the supreme being, well, let's say for higher power, because that's what everybody believes in, a higher power.
Yeah.
I don't care if you atheist, whatever. You believe in a higher power. Higher power put a man on this earth in the image of him. Okay? That image, he said that man could not be here on this planet by himself. So he took his rib and created a woman, which is a wounded man. Like all of this is, it's going to go into another episode.
That's what I'm saying. I already knew you was getting that.
What I'm saying is people know what, she knows what it is. It's up to her to really want to understand who she is.
Yeah.
It's easier to go along than get along.
I see, like, that's where that's where you lose me with the whole go along and get along, and like when you relate it back to like her. Like, I'm saying in her situation, I don't know whether she knows that and understands it. She could know and understand that. I still don't think if she knew and understand that I still don't think the fact that she went into that giving them the benefit of the doubt means that she doesn't know and understand who she is. Like, I'm not willing to say that about her just because she was willing to give the royal family the benefit of the doubt and then feels let down by their actions. I don't think that means she doesn't know who she is.
So do you think that, how can I say this?
I just don't think that's a fair criticism of her.
Because she gave somebody the benefit of the doubt?
Yeah, because what you're basically saying is she gave them the benefit of the doubt when she shouldn't have because she knew they were going to let her down. That's what you're basically saying.
Yeah, I'm saying
that.
So,
and you're saying because she did that, because she gave them the benefit of the doubt, that means she doesn't know who she is.
What I'm saying is if you know who you are, you're giving yourself to the person that you are direct in the relationship with. Everybody else, that's like a cherry on top of a cheesecake.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that it is like a cherry on top of a cheesecake, but you want the cherry on top of the cheesecake. So
okay.
the fact that she wanted to have all-inclusive family and a harmonious family and gave them the benefit of the doubt and gave them the opportunity to earn that right, I don't think means she doesn't know herself.
I'm not saying that you don't give them the right to earn that right. I just said
I'm saying benefit of the doubt.
I'm saying you give a person, it's like respect.
Yeah.
In order to get respect, you got to give respect.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's where it's earned.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to respect you because I want that same respect in return.
That's giving me the benefit of the doubt.
Okay, but guess what? When you don't give it, if that's the case, fine. You're right. But guess what? I'm going in there giving you respect.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for nothing from you. But you are going to respect me.
That's the same thing she did, though.
Okay, well, guess what? Then
I don't think that means she
I
doesn't know herself.
don't see why she was so shocked at what happened. Let me put it that way.
It's like
she was shocked. I saw the interview.
I'm saying she
was blown away, and she said it like she couldn't understand what was going on.
But we don't know the inner workings of that relationship. Like, that may have been the first instance that she saw that, and it could have blown her away. That's fine.
She said that it was other things like
I'm saying like the instances that she saw.
Her brother-in-law's wife was giving her shit too out the gate.
So what I'm saying, my point is, just because that blew her away does not mean she doesn't know who she is. I'm not saying she does or she doesn't. I don't think it's fair to make that assumption that she doesn't know who she is because she was blown away by the fact that the royal family, her husband's family, treated her that way.
Okay. Well, that's my opinion.
You're right. That is your opinion.
Let me put it that way.
And it's my opinion that we can't say that. I'm not saying that she does or she doesn't.
I'm agreeing with you. I'm just saying, for the sake of argument, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel that if she knew who she was, it would have been like, okay, I pretty much expected that. I would have hoped that wouldn't have happened, but I expected that to be the outcome.
Yeah.
You know
I mean, there's a lot.
Nobody's going to accept you because of who you are.
Yeah, but I think that's and let me say this. There's a lot of people who feel that way. I know that.
And I'm gonna tell you how crazy it even got to the mere fact that people missed this out of the whole thing, that it was even a discussion as to whether he would be the prince.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells you that is telling you, and it's crazy because as much as it does relate to Donald Trump's 4 years in this country here. That guess what? He might have been as fucked up as he was. To me,
mm-hmm.
he was a hell of a president. You know why?
Why?
Because everything that people knew but couldn't put their finger on, he took your finger like E.T. and connected it. You right. This shit is here. This shit is just hidden. Period. And he made it easy for people to come out and be who they were.
Alright, so let me ask you this then. So I hear what you're saying as far as like, alright, she should have expected that. They're not gonna accept you for who you are or whatever like that. They're gonna treat you this way because they feel you superior, right? Let's flip it. And I'm just playing devil's advocate, right? Flip the situation. Because I look at it like this. Like, I hate generalizations and, like, not giving, like, this is why I give people the benefit of the doubt. Because as a black community, we are victims of generalizations in the way that we're treated, right? So flip the script. So, coming from where we come from, right? Somebody says, I don't expect you to do this. You make one mistake in life. Oh, I knew you was gonna do that, and I knew you was gonna do that. Like, I should have expected that. Like, I shouldn't have expected anything more of you. You from Mount Vernon. You from New Rochelle. Chris, you grew up in a single parent household. Cause I sat in the class. I sat in the class, and they did an experiment when I was in college, right? It's called, like, I forget what it's called, but you take a step forward.
I've seen that.
Yeah, like, we actually did that in my communications class, right? So based on that experiment, like, granted, I was the only black person in the class, and I was far in the back, right? All of the shit, parents go to college, two parents in the household, you own a house, all of that shit like that, you take steps forward. Somebody in your family been locked up, somebody in your family done drugs, all that shit like that, you take steps backwards. I was way back, everybody else was way forward. The basis of the experiment is based on those percentages and whatever them shit's called,
where you gonna end up in life.
Yeah, and where you gonna end up in life, right? So based on that shit, I had like less than I forget what the percentage was. It was less than 20% chance of being where I was sitting in that classroom, right? So what you basically saying is they should have treated me like shit based on those percentages.
No.
That is what you're saying.
I'm gonna tell you why they shouldn't.
Okay.
Because guess what? The problem that I'm trying to relay right here with this message that I'm talking about, and the reason why I wanted to talk about this situation, is because, like you just said, they generalize us, and we don't generalize them. They have the same issues we have.
I understand that.
Hold on.
Yeah.
They have the same issues we have. But excuses get made for them.
Yeah.
They get pushed ahead. You get left back.
Yeah.
So that the ones that make it out of that 20% be the ones that hustle that much more than the person that got everything. That will go out here and do anything. And I'm not talking about just illegal things. I'm talking about whatever I got to do to try and make up that 80%, I'm going to go ahead and do that.
Right.
Because I know that you already generalizing me. And don't say that, yo, guess what? You like you said, if you do some, everything that we do, they expected us to do that. That's why they come down that much harder on us.
Right, so I take that also to something we also talked about on this podcast, where it's like, what you put out, you get back in return. If we're going to play tit for tat, how do we expect things to ever get better?
Check this out.
I'm just asking.
You can never play tit for tat with the person that controls.
Right, with the oppressor. Okay, fine. But fine, we're not playing for tit for tat. But the energy we putting out, that's negative energy.
Hold on, how is that negative energy?
How is it not?
Like you just said, you put out, what you put out, you get back.
Yeah.
If I'm putting out positive energy, trying to get ahead, I'm doing, like you said, you doing everything you got to do. You in college, you the first one to go to college out of your family. That's positive, right? Okay. But they still looking at you like, yo, he ain't shit. He's going to be back there with his family that didn't make it out. He's going to be that right there.
Right. But my point is, if I focus on that, right?
That's something totally different.
But I'm
talking about energies here.
Right, we are talking about energy.
Their energy is, guess what? You fuck up one time, that's going to stay with you.
Okay.
That's going to stay with you the rest of your life.
Right. So
you ain't able to do half the shit that...
But I don't know how to reciprocate that energy is what I'm saying. Unless it's something that is done physical harm to me. Now, what I'm saying to you is, we don't have to reciprocate that energy. It's a choice to reciprocate that energy. that generalization energy. You know what I'm saying? Because we do like I love and I support my black people. You know what I'm saying? But all of us generalize, and we are generalized also. We complain about being generalized, but we generalize others.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that it's possible that a black person in America be racist?
No, it's impossible to be racist as a minority. Unless the oppressed can never be racist.
Okay, so then guess what? The energy that we walk outside every day to is what?
Oppression.
It's negative.
Yeah, oppression is negative.
Negative energy begets negative energy. But that don't mean that I gotta give you the negative vibe that I'm getting out here. I'm giving you positive energy to say, come on, brother, help up. If we all band together, we could overcome this shit.
Yeah, I get that. But what I'm saying is
and I'm gonna tell you something else that comes out of these interracial relationships too, that a lot of people don't like neither.
It's more of us. I mean, it's the origin of man.
Listen,
what I'm saying though is when I look at that and maybe I have a different view of the situation. Like I said, I wholeheartedly agree with the teachings of Malcolm X when it's like they put their hands on you respond. My thing is I feel like, and it's no fault of our own. I don't think. Let me first say that when I said this when the George Floyd thing came out. I don't think that black people are crazy and angry and things like that. I feel like we're traumatized. When you go through trauma, and that's why, like, you have, like I said, we talked about last week, mental health has become more prevalent. People talking about going to therapy and shit like that. Like, that's a positive thing. Like, it's shunned in our community. But we should do it because we are traumatized. When I talk about, like, we talk about, like, giving positive energy and things like that, what you give out, you get back. I don't even think we realize, because we are so traumatized, how much negative energy we do give out. And that's because of trauma. Like I said, it's no fault of our own. But when you hear,
it's trauma. But it's what happens is when you get negative vibes every day, constantly. Guess what? It's like, yo, you beating me down to the point where now I don't know where my release is.
Yeah, and that's why I think conversations like this is important.
That's why,
because like and I'm not to pat myself on the back, because I do it too. Like I'm traumatized, and there's times where I can't see like the positive side of shit either, or where like there may be an error in how we thinking about shit. But I'm like, yo, like the way we react to this shit been the same way the entire time.
Yeah,
and
because
there's no change.
No, we want to go along and get along, and I've been saying that for the longest. When we talked about the younger generation starting a revolution, dude, people want to go along and get along. Like, all right, man, it's all right. You know why? Because they got more guns than us. They got more technology than us. They got everything. So guess what? If we band together, we're gonna lose anyway. It's a defeatist attitude.
Yeah, but that defeatist attitude.
That's like playing sports. Yo, guess what? LeBron over there with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. Those are three of the top dudes in the league. We can't beat them.
But I think what you just said was key. You talked about a defeatist attitude, which means everything starts in the mind. And that's what I'm getting to.
That's education.
Not even just education.
No.
I'm not even talking about idea. I'm talking about your mindset and the way you think about shit. Like, not even talking about education. I'm talking about perspective. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about I choose to not let this shit, like, whatever. Like, I'm going to choose to keep my head high, things like that. Like, and it's hard in a lot of these situations.
Let me explain education. Education don't mean going to school.
I'm not talking about going to school.
I'm saying education. When you know who you are, you're going to keep your head up high. And when you hear shit, like you said, going in a room. Listen, man, I worked in a career that you realize you had black chiefs, black lieutenants, black captains, right? Mm-hmm. Black firefighters. But do you realize that they, not once, not once in all my years on this job have I heard, and I've been all over with firefighters and shit like that. Not once have I heard a white firefighter, except for when the younger guys like my age and younger started coming in, say that officer deserved to get that promotion. You know why? You didn't deserve it. You wasn't shit. I've sat in rooms where dudes would be like, yo, he ain't shit. Now, I'm new on the job. I don't know who's shit and who ain't shit. But now as promotions is going on and I'm getting time on the job, you're talking about, oh, Chris ain't shit. But this one over here, man, I'm glad he got promoted. Whoa, wait a minute.
What's the highest rank in the fire department?
Chief.
How many black chiefs did you have? So, now, let me break this down. So, like, how many houses in Mount Vernon Fire Department? 4. How many firemen in each house?
On average, let me see. 2 houses got more than everybody.
But you say average.
You got 25. So average is about 4 or 5.
4 or 5 people in the house?
Firefighters, not the officers.
So 5.
So you figure about between 6, about 6.
So 6 firefighters, not including the chief.
The chief ain't in that firehouse.
So how many chiefs in Mount Vernon?
It's 4 group chiefs and 1 chief of operations.
All right. So you're talking about, let's say 5 in each house. So 20 firefighters, and then who runs the house?
If you could be in a house with a lieutenant, or you could be in a house with a captain. Each house got a captain, but he might not be in your group. So you might have a lieutenant in your group that runs that house when you working, or if you in the group in the house where the captain runs that house, like that.
So you got a top chief and you got 4 chiefs under him, right?
Right.
All right. That's all in Mount Vernon, right?
Right.
And then you got your 4 houses that are run by captains, you said?
Each house has a captain in each group. So there's 4 groups in Mount Vernon.
So you got 20 firefighters, right?
In each group.
About
25 in each group. So 25 firefighters in each group. So average about 5 or 6 in each firehouse.
So I'm just talking about total in Mount Vernon. So you're talking about 25.
Altogether, it's 100. It's 100 and about 130, 140 firefighters.
Okay. How many captains were black? Out of the 4.
When I first got on, or now?
Now it doesn't matter. Now.
When I first got on, it was 1
out of 4 possible positions.
Yeah.
All right. So 25%. How many black chiefs?
1
out of 5 possible positions. So 20%, right? That's a higher ratio than the job that I work at, in corporate America. And that's on a way bigger, like,
right.
So what I'm saying is...
No, but see, you gotta look at it, you're looking at it from Mount Vernon's standpoint.
But I'm just saying, my job is in Newark.
No. But you said, nationally, you still might be right. But nationally...
I'm just talking about my job and my building.
Yeah, well, but see, you can't look at it because Mount Vernon's on a smaller scale.
I'm not talking about the broad numbers. I'm talking about the percentage.
Okay.
Percentage. In my position, right? In my job, right? I work for Sally Mae. The building that I work in, right? You have probably in that building close to I'd say probably like 2,000 people, right? A director would be considered like probably you guys as captains, right? You said you had 2, right, or 1.
We had 1.
1. How many now? So I'll give you 1. That's still 25%, right?
No, now you got. I think you got 3.
Okay, out of 4 possible positions. All right. So let's just go back because that's gonna really blow it out the water. But let's go back to your first one. 25% representation of black people as far as a captain. I'll equate that to a director. Sally Mae, you probably got like over 100, probably 200 directors in the building. I can count on one hand how many of those people are black.
Okay.
That's less. We're talking about less than probably 5% representation.
Okay.
Then when you go above that, right? You're talking about VPs and shit like that. There's only one. And I'm talking about VPs. You talking about VPs, or senior VPs like officers and shit like that. There's one. That's less than a 2% representation, and that person is not. She's actually said on the call, because we had these diversity conversations. She's actually said on the call that she does not. What's the word that she used? She doesn't relate to the feeling of the the black employee or the black person in America, because she's from Barbados. So she don't understand. Yeah, so she don't understand. So if you're talking about like granularly, there's 0%. But from a just straight up look,
logistics.
yeah,
right.
Like we're less than 2%. So that's I say all of that to say, like, I understand what you're saying. Like, but like, if you have the mindset of like, we can't do this, like, or they don't want us to do this, what the fuck is the purpose?
But you answered what I said. You repeating exactly what I said. What I said was, we have to educate ourselves as to who we are and stop feeling inferior and believing that we're going to be liked. You're not going to be liked. Because guess what? Once we all get together and start realizing what we are, like you said, what was the movie? Judas and the Messiah,
yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? They knew what it was. Now, Huey Newton and them recruited all across America. This is going in.
Yeah.
They're about to unite. They're about to say, yo.
But they did also. I'm going to say one thing, because I don't want it to make it seem like, because I don't want it to seem like it's just like, oh, it's just us united. They also did have white allies too.
No, I'm not saying that you won't. I'm not saying you won't.
Yeah.
The ones that you have that's going to ally with you are going to be the ones that, guess what, I understand and I know.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told you, I saw the video where they was like, yo, if the dude sat there and said, guess what, if you sit here and you try and disrespect this man over here, you don't know who the hell you are.
Yeah. The only reason I bring that up, though, is because it goes back to my point in the beginning, is you can't, like Meghan Markle, you gotta give people the opportunity to either live up to a stereotype or not. Like, you gotta take them for face value.
Yeah, you said generalization. Guess what?
Yeah, so they would have white allies if they generalize.
Hear what I'm saying? You are generalizing, because you want me to tell you why? 10 out of 10 million, the general population is 990 million. And the 10 are the exception.
But I'm saying, if you were a victim to a generalization, you would have never got an opportunity to be on the fire department.
That's not true. And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Now, this is actual fact. Now, if you want to stay in Mount Vernon.
Okay.
New Row, I couldn't get the job. New Row used all kind of shit. And you know I was living in New Row.
Yeah.
All your taxes.
Mm-hmm.
You got a record, which, come to find out, it was white dudes on the job that had records. Crimes that was more heinous than mine.
Yeah.
Okay? Mount Vernon, oh, you ain't getting on. They told me don't take the test.
Yeah.
Didn't take the test.
Uh-huh.
Yonkers, oh, you need not apply. Yeah. White Plains, same thing, right?
Uh-huh.
What happened was, dudes started fighting, like, wait a minute. This is supposed to be a department of our community.
Yeah.
And reflect with our community.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, I never saw a black firefighter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Even though my man's pops was, the guy that gave me the app, I mean, he didn't give me the app, but the one that spoke for me, he was on the job, but I never seen him on the rig. You know what I'm saying? But now, here's how this shit works. I go there, when I go to take the test, White Plains, New Rochelle, Yonkers, right? You can't take their test without showing residency. Okay? Mm-hmm. In the town. They was up there telling people, not us, not people that look like me and you, take the Mount Vernon test. they hire anybody. And I got a hook in City Hall.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get hired there. You just got to pass this test. And you got to be physically fit to pass the agility test. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Say about between 350, 400 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I make a number on the list, right? They hire. Boom. I didn't make the first cut. But now, dude comes back and go, listen, do not mess up now. Whatever you doing, clean that shit up.
Mm-hmm.
They get ready to hire another class, you're going to be in that class. There's no way you should be in that class. Matter of fact, go up to City Hall, go in the civil service, and ask them what's your number now, update. I walk in on Grandpa's soul. The paper is on the desk. This is when my eyes was good. I could see very well. It was a circle in red ink. My name was circled. Actual fact. I said, yeah, I'm here to check my updated place on the list, because you just hired a class, you know, da-da-da-da. What's your name? So I told her my real name. You know what I'm saying? I told her my government name. She did just like this with the paper. My name is Circle. So I see my name is Circle, but I don't know what my name is Circle for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She goes, why? You wise? Yeah. Let me see your ID. Showed her my license.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we sent the paperwork to you and we never reached you. You were supposed to be in the first class. I said, oh, no I wasn't. No I was not. Yes you was. You was disqualified. I said, I'm disqualified? Yeah, because the mail came back. I said, okay, if the mail came back, can I see the letter that you mailed to me? You would have the return
mm-hmm.
to send the stamp on it. She
mm-hmm.
did just like this. But we don't keep that stuff. So I was like, oh, hold on. So I called the guy that
mm-hmm.
told me to go look. I said, yeah, they saying I'm disqualified. He was like, nah, stay right there. Don't leave. Stay right there.
Mm-hmm.
I go back. He comes and goes, what's the updated list? Now he's dressed.
Yeah.
Right? She goes, oh, well, yeah, I have everything. So where's he at on the list? What's your name again? I said, my name is Wise. The one that's circled right there. You got it circled in red. She's like, oh, no, that ain't you. He was like, let me see that paper. She like, well, you know, this is confidential. This is civil service law. She thought that I was a white kid. But when she see, this is what I say.
Mm-hmm.
This is how I used to get jobs, being just like this. Hey, how you doing? Yes, this is a Wise. Oh yeah, sure, come in. Then when you come in, they looking at you like this. You what? Yeah. Yes. If you don't mind, let me see your ID. Oh well, well yeah, we got a discrepancy. Well, we really not. Yeah. You know what I mean? But guess what? In Mount Vernon, it became a thing where hold on, nah. Now we got to flood the test taking, and we so far ahead and more athletic, we gonna flood the list.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what happened? They started writing letters. Mount Vernon is a black man's job. White professional firefighters need not apply. So when you say like you walking in a room and shit like that, I get off on shit like that.
Yeah, but you get off on it, but you're getting up for that because you're trying to perform in a way because you are the only person in that room.
Yeah, but I'm
that's anxiety.
I'm the center of the attention when I walk in any.
But it's a different center of attention.
Yeah,
that's anxiety.
I feel you. But guess what? I can sit there and be quiet, but I like being who I am because I know it's pissing you off.
I'm not saying to be quiet. Being quiet would also be a different way of showing insecurity.
You know
what I'm saying is you saying that you're gonna do this to piss somebody off.
Yeah, because I know what they think about
right.
me.
So that's anxiety.
So like you saying that, yo, guess what? You thinking that they looking at you like, yo, they expect you to do everything you do other than what is something they might do.
Yeah.
Like you said, you got a job where you one of the only blacks on that job. They don't expect you to be like
I'm
that.
the only black person.
Well, guess what?
It's another female.
But guess what? They might expect her to be in that position. You know what I'm saying? Because they more docile and humble and things of that nature.
I wouldn't say that.
What?
Black females got it bad in corporate America too.
No, I'm not saying they don't, but they as much as they don't want them there, they could look at them and accept them there before they could accept you. Because you ain't supposed to be there. You ain't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
You're supposed to come in there with baggage, bro. Now, you can look at shit the way you want to look at it.
Nah.
I'm not here to force nothing on you. But you are supposed to be walking around out here with baggage.
Yeah, I just told you about the thing that I went through in college. Like, that goes without saying. And that's something that I didn't need to go through that experiment to know. But that thing is mind-blowing.
But you know the funny thing? The funny thing that you say shit like that a lot of times they be lying.
What?
Because, like, when you're doing those experiences, a lot of them motherfuckers don't want you to know that they going through the same shit you going through.
I agree with you on that, too. I'm talking about the people who are in the experiment, like, their responses.
But people, you know why?
But I know
because if you don't know them to know that, yo, they going through this shit.
Yeah.
You listen. I got white friends that were broken than us.
Yeah, no.
But you wouldn't know that shit because they hanging out. They accept it amongst the people that have it.
But that also speaks to, like I said, with us, our insecurities, right? Because you go to, like, I'll put it to you like this. You go to the project, right? Any project in America, pick it. It can be anywhere, right? People living on welfare, things like that. They want to have, like, you could be living with your parents, but you're going to have, your gear going to be fly if you can do it, right? You're going to make sure you fresh before you make sure you get out the project. That's an insecurity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's what I'm talking about, right? So, we have embedded insecurities that we don't even realize are insecurities. Like, why the fuck you standing online for a fucking pair of Jordans and you don't have a house? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
That shit don't make no sense.
That I agree with.
That's insecurity.
Hold on. Yes, it is. But it's also, there's people out here that can buy a house that don't.
You said that before, but I also don't understand that.
No,
but listen, that's also an insecurity too, right? Because if you in a situation where you can buy a house, like, I'm not talking about, like, oh, I'm buying a house because, oh shit, I'm going to buy a house. Like, no, that's something in your name. That's a piece of land. They're not making more land. They can build buildings. They can create more jobs. There's not going to be more land. If anything, we lose in fucking land. So if you have an ability to go and get your name attached to a piece of land where that when you pay that shit off, you can pass that shit down to somebody else with your last name, and you don't want to do that shit, that's bullshit.
Okay, but peep it out. A lot of times, you know how people look at houses? And when you speak to a lot of older people, it was shocking to me.
You said this before, like,
no,
responsibility.
not even just that. Because I never looked at it like that.
What?
They was like, yo, you know what a mortgage is? And I was like, yeah, you paying, a motherfucker can't tell you what to do. They was like, no, I'm not talking about that. A mortgage is a higher class way of saying you're paying rent. Because depending on your age, and depending on the lifetime of that mortgage, you might not never pay that mortgage off. Now, let's say you do pay the mortgage off. And this came from a homeowner whose house is paid off, and she pays taxes. That's it. Her kids didn't want the credit. You know what she said? When I die, guess what's going to happen? They're going to sell the house. They're going to take the money. So everything that I work for is going to be gone. But I'm gone, but they don't want the house.
That's not true.
What?
That's not true that they take the money and all of that. That comes in her will. If her house is paid off...
Okay, but guess what?
What's the name? If her house is paid off...
But the bottom line to it is, where the money going?
That depends on her, writing her will.
Okay, so if she say I'm giving it to my grandkids or whatever, and they don't want the house,
they can take the money.
Okay, so they take the money, but where's the house?
That's their decision. What I'm saying is they have an option. They have a choice.
Hold on, you saying that you could leave? This is my point.
You don't have a choice if you're paying rent.
If she's saying that they don't want the crib. She's looking at it like, I'm going to go out here and bust my ass, I'm getting a crib, and I'm leaving it to my children.
Okay.
Her children are grown, she's only paying taxes.
Yeah.
So if she gives them the crib,
right.
Now I didn't ask how many kids she had,
yeah.
That wasn't none of my business.
Yeah.
It was just a general conversation, because you know what she said? We went to the house next to us on a gas leak, and she said, you know what's messed up? I remember when I knew everybody on this block. She said, but every house on this block is nothing but rentals. The kids don't want the property, and all of these houses are paid for.
Right. If the kids don't want the house, right? This is what I'm saying. Like, this is why I say, like, that's bullshit. Like, if the kids don't want the house...
How can you say that's bullshit? That's up to them.
I'm just saying. This is my opinion. And people who think that way, I think it's bullshit. I think it's a small-minded way of thinking.
But why?
But I want to explain it. If the kids don't want the house is a moneymaker. You just said the neighborhood's full of rentals, right?
Right.
So if they don't want the house, they don't have to have a house. They can make money off the shit. Have people living in the house and paying you rent.
Okay, but now
you can be a landlord. We have a mindset of workers.
We
don't want to be owners.
Something about that people don't know.
What?
If I don't pay you rent, what happens?
Huh? Then you can evict that person.
You sure?
Huh? Yeah.
Okay. You know that for a fact.
Huh? I don't know the law.
Okay, because guess what? It's easier to get a motherfucker in there than it is to get them out.
That's fine. It's harder to run your own business than it is to work for somebody. But it's worth it.
Hold on. You're changing the narrative.
That's the same thing.
You're making it seem like a person that don't want a house is small-minded.
It is.
That's not.
All right. I think if you can afford a house and you don't want a house, I think that's small-minded. Especially coming from where our peoples come from. We don't have no land. You ride through here, you got motherfuckers with 200 acres selling land for 15. What was this? This motherfucker tell me. I forget what the price was per acre. Shit selling for multi-million dollars. I don't give a fuck what you doing with that land. 200 fucking acres. You know how much that is? Chrissy and a mall sit on less than 200 acres.
Okay.
Like. We don't have that shit. You riding by here, and these people are passing that shit down from generation to generation.
Because that's what they want.
That's fine. If your kids don't want it, that's cool. It's still a moneymaker. It's still a moneymaker. You don't got to live on it. You can make money off of it.
Because they don't want to make money.
If you're not thinking that way, that's education. Going back to what you're talking.
You're right. You're right. I'm not saying it ain't. But what I'm saying, you can't say a person's small-minded because they say, I'd rather go and rent a townhouse or a co-op somewhere where I'm not liable for nothing, but just paying my rent.
How is that not small-minded?
Because that's their choice.
I'm not saying it's not a choice. It's a choice to be small-minded.
Hold on. It's things that you do or I might do that somebody else might say that's small-minded thinking.
That's their opinion.
This is my point.
That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
But that don't make it right.
I didn't say it was right or wrong. I said it's small-minded. That's my opinion.
But that mean that what you're saying is right.
I didn't say I didn't say it was
true.
I didn't say it was true. I didn't say it was right. I've been saying it's my opinion. And based on
you didn't say it's your opinion.
Okay, well I'm saying right now. That's my opinion.
What I give you that shouldn't be your opinion is that if you living in the project struggling and you trying to get out, there's no reason for you to be standing around for no drugs.
I'm very passionate about that. Like if you're in a situation where you can afford to own some shit and you choose not to, my opinion, that's small-minded. And the majority of the reasons that people choose not to do that shit is exactly what you're saying. It's more work. Yeah, it's more work. But that shit is worth it. You know what I'm saying? We can't sit here and complain about being an oppressor if we don't want to put ourselves in a position.
Hold on. No. I can't let you do that.
Okay.
Because guess what?
All right.
Everybody don't work to get what they got neither.
I ain't saying that. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I just gave you a scenario where people don't work for it. It's past that.
No. Hold on. I'm saying this. That same person that you looking at as small-minded might be working and busting their ass, but
I ain't
they
saying
can't get it.
I'm not.
And I know people.
I said somebody who can afford it.
Hold on. I'm talking about some people that have had the opportunity to buy a house or get anything that they got, they had to work for most of the people. So guess what? If they choose to work hard and make money and put their money away, you got some people that don't believe in banks. That's small-minded?
Don't believe in banks?
Yeah. Is that small-minded?
It depends on the bank. Yeah, small. I think you.
No, I don't care what bank you go to.
Yeah, I think it's small-minded and not believe in banks.
I'm gonna tell you why I can understand why somebody wouldn't believe in banks.
I know what you're gonna say. The situation. I forget what town it was in. Where
No. This is actual fact. No town, any town you go to.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the situation. I forget what year it was.
Do you know it costs you more money to be under the savings balance in an account than you make on your own money and interest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why would I believe in a bank when you charging me more money to put what I want to put in a savings?
But you have a choice over that type of account.
No.
Yes, you do.
Listen to me. You collected interest only on a savings. If I just open an account because I just want to pay my bills with a check, and I want all my money in that checking account, I'm not getting nothing.
Yeah.
But now, if most banks want you to open both, and you have to have a minimum, whether it's $300, $500, okay? But if you under that minimum, they charge you more money than you will get if you're over. And I'm talking about not $100 over. I'm not talking about $500 over.
Yeah.
You could be $10,000 over that limit or more, and you're still making less money on that money that you put into the bank.
Yeah.
Okay. But they're getting more money off your money, loaning the money out.
Yeah, but that's that type of savings account.
What do you mean?
I'm saying the savings account. There's different types of savings accounts.
Okay, tell me what savings account that you don't have to have a minimum.
I'm not saying that there's one that you don't have a minimum. I'm saying is the amount of interest that you are earning on your money where it makes sense for you.
Okay, tell me what bank gives you sensible money earning on the monies you have.
A 529 plan?
A 529?
Yeah.
That's not a regular savings.
I know it's not, but it's a savings account that you can open.
Okay, but guess what? If I'm not doing that, I'm saying to pay my bills.
You said do I believe banks? If you don't believe in banks, I don't know the exact number, but I know that you make more.
If the average interest in a bank account is between 1% to 3% on your money.
Okay. All right. So going back to your original question, yes, I believe that if you don't believe in banks, if you don't believe in having a bank account, that's small-minded. Yes, I believe everybody should have a bank account. All right. Now, if you don't believe that, cool. That's my belief. All right. That's flat out. Yes. And I also believe if you have I'm not talking about people that's working hard, making ends meet, and they renting. I'm talking about somebody who's comfortable and can afford to own their home. You know what I'm saying? But they are making the choice to say, I'm going to keep renting, because that's the example you gave.
Right.
I'm going to keep renting and not own. I think that's small-minded. Regardless of what your kids want to do with that.
All right, so
what
if they don't have no kids and they say, I don't want to own nothing. Huh? I don't want to own no property.
I think that's small-minded. I just told you.
Okay, why? Because they choose to live comfortably and they just want to rent out.
Yeah, man.
That's small-minded.
Yeah. Yes.
I disagree with you.
Yes. That's not. You can disagree.
Because
I feel like we just like we talk about religion and things like that. I feel like we pick and choose what we want to be, what we want to say we should be championing. Like, we don't champion motherfuckers owning shit because...
That's not true.
No, we don't. We don't.
How you figure that?
Nah. Certain shit. We champion certain shit. Certain shit people own. But to say, like, to say, like, that's not small-minded, I don't understand that.
Hold on. How do you figure that we don't champion black-owned anything?
What you just said. Your argument right now, how you think that's not small-minded.
It's not.
All right, that's my
point. But guess what? It's small-minded to me that people won't support other black businesses.
All right. Owning your home is a black business.
Hold on. First of all, I don't look at that as a black business.
I just told you how you can make money off of it.
Listen, I didn't say how you could make money off nothing. But what I'm saying to you is black businesses we'll tend to go out here and support somebody else other than black people.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I've explained that to you several times. And I'm a black business. I know. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I've explained that to you. So, you ain't got to say that to me. What I'm saying is, if you own your house as a black person, you pay that house off. That is a black business. You don't want the house no more. You don't want the responsibility of taking care of that shit. Don't tell me shit about like, oh, I don't know how to fix toilets. You can hire a motherfucker to fix the toilet or some shit that breaks. Just like the fucking apartment complex hires a motherfucker that come and fix your lights and shit when your shit go out in the apartment. That's small-minded thinking. You know what I'm saying?
I disagree, but
all right, that's my opinion on that. I think we find an obstacle and we stop there and you like, oh,
that's
fuck
not
it.
an obstacle.
It is an obstacle because most people don't do it because they don't want the responsibility, like you said.
Okay, if somebody,
that's an obstacle.
Hold on, if somebody's saying, guess what? I don't have to pay for that motherfucker to come cut my grass. I don't have to pay for that motherfucker to come in here and fucking. Well, I don't have to pay extra. I'm paying my rent. You know what I'm saying?
You got people renting paying more than what they would pay for a mortgage, my dude.
That's not true.
Yes, it is true.
No, some people, yeah, depending on where you live at, you're right.
Come on, man.
But everybody don't have that. Hold up, look at this. What if the person has the money, but they don't have the credit rating to get a decent down payment?
That's when you do like first time home buyers in these programs. But, like that's what I say. We see an obstacle.
Hold on. No, that's not true.
Is
because
that
guess what? Hold on. Let me tell you about a dude that I know that had to get a crib. Now, he had to pay a bill, and it was an essential bill that they told him the bill had to be paid. Now, he put the money down on the crib, but they told him when they come to the day of the closing, if he didn't have $1,000 in his account, he forfeited his bread. But he had to pay a bill. So this dudes had to loan him the money to put this in the account. But you think that's fair? You think everybody
that's not fair?
Go that?
And as going through that situation, that wouldn't have worked either because they tell you when you're going into closing, you can't even have new transactions in and out of the bank account that's being used. So that wouldn't work. But like going into closing, you can't have any new transactions.
I understand what you're saying.
So I'm like, well, that wouldn't work. But what I'm saying is, that's an obstacle. We are very resourceful people when we want to be.
This is my point.
And that's my point. We don't want to be resourceful in that way.
Just because a person don't want to fucking have to pay extra to.
It's not paying extra all the time though. If you weigh this shit out, especially when you when you.
All right, let's say this. Let's say that I'm paying what a mortgage would be, right?
Yeah.
But I don't have to pay to get my grass cut. I don't have to pay extra.
You don't have to pay to get your grass cut anyway.
But I don't want to cut the grass.
That's an obstacle. You choose not to be resourceful.
Hold on. I choose not to want to have to cut grass. I'm choosing not to want to have to fix the pipe.
All right. You choosing not to be resourceful.
So guess what?
What I just said.
Hold on. Motherfucker, if a pipe breaking here right now, you
I'm
gonna have to pay to get it fixed.
So finish your story.
So guess what? I'm choosing not to do that.
Yep.
Because my say $1,200, my $2,400 a month, that's what I'm paying.
Right.
Not if a pipe breaks, they gotta come in here. All I'm doing, shutting the water valve off. Ain't no more water flowing. They coming in here, they fixing it. My rent ain't going up. I'm not paying the extra whatever.
That's not true. Your rent does go up.
I said it's not going up right now. If I just went into that fucking yearly lease, guess what? It ain't going up $5,000, and even then,
my mortgage ain't going up either.
You paying for that pipe?
Okay, I'm
you paying your mortgage.
Okay,
and then that's extra money that you got to come up
with. But
with.
then when tax time comes, I get that kickback.
Okay,
you don't get no kickback for paying rent. You're throwing money into a bottomless pit.
Hey, listen. Some people choose to do that.
And I said you choosing not to be resourceful.
But that don't
it does.
No, it don't.
All right, in my opinion, it does.
No, it don't.
You're looking like
that's
I said.
Hold on, and I'm gonna say this. That's like saying when we laughed about this. That's why I'm bringing this up. That's like somebody looking at previous episode when we laughed and said you ain't have nothing in your refrigerator. You were small-minded because you could have went out there, got a second job or a third job.
And I did.
Hold on, but you would have had food in the crib.
I did have food in the crib. I didn't have enough food. I didn't go hungry. I didn't have enough food to satisfy you.
No.
Pete, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up. I ate ramen and tuna, and I was satisfied off of that. I ate, my nutrition was taken care of.
Hold on.
If it looks like to you, my refrigerator was empty, okay, I was satisfied.
Then you make your own point. So you saying they small-minded because they're not thinking like you. They got a refrigerator full of food that they're eating. Yep. They're not eating ramen. Yep. If they want ramen, they got ramen. If they want collard greens, macaroni and cheese and a roast, they got that.
And me, I was being resourceful. I had a certain amount of money off of 2 jobs. I was working 7 days a week. I was working a full-time job, 9 to 5, working overtime, and then I had a part-time job. Oh, let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. No, it's not. Because I'm going to break it down. I worked 7 days a week. Yes, we are. Because you brought it up. Yes, we are. So I worked 7 days a week. I was only in the apartment because my mom told me that. No. You brought the shit up. You brought that up. No. And I'm saying, this is the situation. I'm in the apartment because it was a situation. No, I'm not. I'm not doing that. Let me finish. You brought it up. No. I'm gonna tell you why it's not small-minded.
Okay.
I'm in a situation because my mom told me, yo, you gotta get your place. Cool. I got a place. I didn't know how bills was going to be paid. I didn't know how I was going to eat. But like I said, when you want to be resourceful, you be fucking resourceful. And I didn't want to stay in no fucking apartment, and I got in a fucking apartment right now. So when our refrigerator was empty, it only had water, but I ate every fucking night. I was never hungry. You know what I'm saying? My bills was fucking paid. I was never late on shit. Whatever credit that I had out was paid. No, I didn't have no extra fucking money. No, my gas was accounted for to get me to work, and that's it. Yeah, I was resourceful. Like I said, we are very resourceful people when we have to be. But if I'm in, that's not the same situation that you described. You described a motherfucker with a full ass refrigerator and money in an apartment and ain't comfortable.
They want to.
That's small-minded. If I had more money to fill up my refrigerator and have extra money, I wouldn't have been in no fucking apartment. Just like 2 years later, I went and with credit that was less than substantial. This is not my first time getting a fucking mortgage. I got a mortgage then too, and I got out of it because the previous relationship was over.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Across the street from where I'm at right now.
First of all,
come on, man.
First of all,
that's not the same situation.
First of all, you taking this shit.
No, because you comparing it. It's not the same.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. You said a person who can't afford it. Who can't afford it, but chooses not to.
Hold on. A person's opinion, like you said, being resourceful.
But don't use my situation as the thing.
Yeah, hold on. Everybody's situation is different.
You took my apartment and compared it to somebody who can afford a house.
Hold on. What I'm saying to you is you don't know what that person is doing to be.
I'm using your example.
What I'm saying to you, they're comfortable. Well, I didn't get into whether they work at 2, 3 jobs.
You said they can afford a house and they choose not to.
They can.
That's small-minded.
That's not.
I couldn't afford a house.
That's not.
I couldn't afford a house.
That's not.
It is. In my opinion.
First of all, what I know and what I know now, you can afford, like you said, anything that you want to afford. Okay? I don't care what your credit is. I don't care about nothing. You can afford what you want to afford.
Like I said, when my lease was up, I had a mortgage.
Listen, man, we're not talking about
like I said.
We're not talking about that.
I wasn't thinking small-minded.
Hold on. Just because you get in a house don't make you small-minded.
I'm saying if you can afford it.
Hold on. Just because you are able to get a house when you want to go out here and get a house don't make you more open-minded or because you don't want one makes a person that has a house you small-minded than them. That don't make that. What are we talking about?
What are we talking about? We started this whole shit talking about like the oppressed situation that we're in. So hold up. Do you not agree that we own way less land than white people in America?
We do.
All right. So knowing that, like you said, knowing who we are, knowing yourself, how as a person who can afford to own their own land and choose not to, how is that not small-minded?
Because some people choose not to, and like I said, once
that's
again,
not answering the question.
Hold on, I'm gonna tell you why it ain't small-minded. Because people choose to do what they want to do.
That's dancing, man.
That's small-minded?
Yeah.
How?
If that's the case, then you gotta take back everything you said about Meghan Markle.
No, I don't.
All right, bro. I don't get that.
I don't get that.
How does wanting a house? Let me explain something.
I'm talking about owning
Let
something.
me ask you a question. Do you think it's easier for Jews to get anything in America than it is for you?
Yeah.
Okay, why?
I mean, it's the
Why?
way it's set up.
Why? Ain't no, fuck
It's
that.
the way it's
You
set up.
saying that I'm dancing, now you come
It's the way it's set up.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Because we're a threat. We said that
No,
already.
because they embrace their fucking struggle and they stick together. If you fucking bought this house and was paying this mortgage over motherfucking welfare, they will come take this shit.
So you're saying, you're proving my point. So by you saying what you just said about Jews, you're saying a black person who's living in a fucking apartment that can afford a house is small-minded.
No.
You just said how Jews think of the bigger picture.
What I'm saying to you is, what Jews did was embrace their struggle,
Yep.
which America had nothing to do with.
Okay.
We don't come together.
All right.
We go out here and want to be like, oh, they don't Tom. I want to be on the golf course with Tom.
Yep.
I'm not going to be on the baseball field or football field with Chris.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be with Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Where they saying, fuck Tom, fuck Chris. I'm going over here with my people.
Right.
We're going to get on welfare and we're going to buy a house. And welfare is going to pay for the house.
All right. So
You try to do that.
explain to me how.
Because America gave them reparations.
No, I'm not talking about them.
How
I'm
what?
talking about us. So explain to me how paying Tom, whatever Jew owns the building that you in, because we're talking about, like, now we're dealing with them buying our neighborhoods and getting us and kicking us out of the neighborhoods that we can't afford. So this is the shit that you deal with when you're like, oh, the example you gave, I can afford a house, but I'm going to pay rent. They're buying it and raising the rent and kicking you out of the neighborhood.
Some people that don't want to buy houses got rent stability, brother.
That's fine. That's fine.
So you can't raise their rent so much.
All right. You got rent stability, right? Now you're in a situation where the neighborhood you knew is not the neighborhood you knew, the same neighborhood.
No neighborhood you know is the neighborhood.
No, all right, well, fuck it.
You grew up in.
What's the name? Fuck it. I just don't understand how
you realize the neighborhood you grew up in, Mount Vernon, New Rochelle, all that shit
is different. I know. I've been there.
So what are we talking about?
All right. So what are we talking about is how if you're in that situation and you can afford to get out and do something that would advance your people.
The difference? You know why I say it ain't small-minded? Because them people right there, if they were able, look at the situations like when people get rich, like take a 50 Cent.
Mm-hmm.
His grandparents are still in their fucking neighborhood that he grew up in.
They own their house though.
You know, I'm not saying they
They
don't.
have a house.
Hold on, you not letting me finish. He paid the house off, but they still in that fucked up neighborhood that he grew up in. You know what we do? You know what we do?
What?
Yo, I ain't staying around here with Chris and Wild. I'm getting the fuck up out of here. I'm going over here.
Yeah.
But then guess what? When you move over there, then you have a situation like you had, what was the movie? Where you was driving through the neighborhood in a fucked up car.
Oh, you're talking about, yeah. But no. What I'm saying is, I'm agreeing with you.
And what I'm
agreeing with you is,
and the reason why I'm saying that is because of this. Education breeds love amongst each other.
right. And if
So
if you're renting, that's uneducated. If you can't get out of it.
That's not true.
I think you're
That's not true.
picking and choosing
Because
what you want
guess
to say.
what? All right, guess what? Then let's say this. Let's say it is. But the fact that you're able to go out and fucking buy a building, you wouldn't buy no fucking building where you grew up.
You fucking crazy.
You want me to tell you why you won't?
Why?
Because then you would have did it.
Huh? No, I can't afford it.
All right then.
I can't afford it. That's something that I
Hold
look into.
on. You can't tell me that there's no grants out here that in these neighborhoods, they're depressed neighborhoods, them fucking, like in Harlem, they were selling them brownstones. Listen to me, man. In Harlem, and people that know New York, them fucking brownstones that right now are worth multi-millions because Bill Clinton and them went in there, they was trying to sell them for $1.
Yeah.
$1.
Yeah.
This is actual fact. Look it up. $1. The brownstones that you see on the Cosby Show, they were selling them in Harlem for $1.
Right. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So guess what?
And I said,
we don't look at it. The uneducation of us is for us to separate from each other, and this is what gets preached to us all the damn time. And we agree. We don't want to be with Chris. We don't want to be around Wise. You know why? Because if you get Chris and Wise together, it's going to be an energetic conversation. They're going to be yelling. Oh, their kids want to bang on the basketball. They want to bang on the chairs in the backyard. They want to play their music loud. So guess what? I don't want to be around that.
Right. But I'd
rather go over here where there may be some oppression, and I just smile, grin, and bear it.
No.
Because guess what? I don't have to see Wise and Chris, and I can look down on Wise and Chris.
That does happen, but that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm describing. You're taking that's a whole other.
When you're saying somebody's
that's them taking a perception of what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying though. I'm not saying you going and living in Beverly Hills or whatever. I said own your house. I ain't say neighborhood or nothing like that. That's all I said.
Okay.
All I said was own your house.
So,
like you said,
hold on. Like you said, if you
can own your house.
Hold on, listen to me. You said that you had a mortgage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, where was that house at?
Across the street.
From where you used to live?
No, from right here.
Okay, so why didn't you go into Wilmington?
Huh? Because I didn't want to drive from Wilmington.
Okay.
Everything I do is in Newark.
Okay. Well,
and then going into Wilmington.
Which is closer, Wilmington or Middletown?
Middletown. Because I'm right here with access to Route 1, and Route 1 goes right to my job.
Hold on. Middletown is right there. I mean, Wilmington is right
You're
there.
You're talking about taking 95. I'm talking about taking Route 1. If you're talking about commuting,
you don't even have to get on 95.
All right, so that's fine. That makes it longer.
No, you don't.
Monty, you're talking to somebody that commutes every morning and at 5 o'clock every day. Right? What's the name? The commute from Middletown is quicker than the commute for Wilmington for where I work. And the access right here, with me having access right to Route 1 from these neighborhoods, it's quicker. Where I can go to get on Route 1.
Where you get on.
All right, so it's quicker. Okay. You know what I mean? And then in addition to that, I knew I wanted to have a family. School district wise, the school district here is better, right? Wilmington, if I lived in Wilmington, my kids was going to have to bus into Newark, and I didn't want them to do that. I didn't want my kids to do that. I'm thinking ahead of the game. But as far as Wilmington, as far as owning things in Wilmington, I have looked into that. There are buildings for sale in Wilmington that were selling. I'm not sure if they're still for sale, but when I did look, when I got that one over there, they were selling them for less. They were like $100 to $200 at a time. Let me finish my story because you brought Wilmington up.
Right.
So I'm gonna school you on how I did do this, right? So you talking about buying those places, right? Yes. Buying it is only the beginning. So when I said that I can afford it, you also got to be able to buy that place and then also fix it up because they're messed up. I couldn't afford to do that. That's what they did in Harlem. So yeah, you had the dollar to buy that building, but to make money off that building, they also had to be able to go into those buildings, replace the floors, replace the cabinets, replace the counters, fix up the rooms and shit like that. I don't have that.
So
nor am I a contractor that know how to do that.
I'm glad you said that.
All right.
So you do that,
yep.
right? In Wilmington.
Yep.
Every other house around you, they don't do that.
What I'm talking about doing, and
I'm asking you a question.
I'm explaining to you. If I was gonna do that, I'm not doing one.
Okay.
I'm talking about a block.
Okay.
Like when motherfuckers, I took that literally when motherfuckers said buy a block.
Hold on. You said you take a block. You got this block right here, but the block down, the next block over, right? Same road, the next block over.
Do you realize that's the same situation
Hold
with the
on.
riverfront?
Listen to what I'm telling you, man.
Yeah.
If them houses aren't bought up by somebody that's willing to do the necessary upgrades, what happens to your property?
If I buy the block, I'm going to do them.
If you buy a block,
yeah,
and I buy the block next down,
yeah,
okay, and I choose, you fix yours up,
yeah,
I'm just buying it, and I know I can rent it to anybody that's on welfare and things of that nature. What happens to your property?
It goes down to the mean of
okay. So guess what? That's why nobody's going to do that. That's why everybody's saying, I'm not going up there. That's why they can't have police up there. That's why they just had a conference where they're talking about they need more of us to come and be police. They need more women to be police to show the community that we can upgrade. But we choose not to do that.
You're talking about maximum return.
We're talking about
if I buy 10 houses, right, at $200 a pop, right? Let's say 10 row homes at $200 a pop. That's what, $10,000? I mean, $2,000. That's $2,000. If I rent out all of them joints, I'm still getting return on my investment. Even if
you are, but what you're getting is you're getting enough money to pay that mortgage, but it's the property value is decreasing because of the area that you're in. If the value of the area does not go up, why do you think, like in places like New York, in Brooklyn, you got places in New Rochelle, Yonkers, where they're tearing down projects trying to get that element out of there. What they call the element. Let me put it that way. Okay? They don't want that element there. You go into Brooklyn where, guess what? You couldn't walk on Atlantic Avenue without getting robbed and shit like that. Now you go down there, they don't want you walking around there. Because you got Penelope walking with her dog. She got a little dog in her pocketbook and shit like that.
Right. So
ain't nobody coming in and buying up no block where they know they can't fucking buy out the whole area and upgrade the area.
Okay. So why wouldn't we do that?
This is what I was saying about the Jews. We are so focused on not loving each other and wanting to be over there instead of be right here in the midst of the action and saying, listen, we're going to go fight for reparations. America did to us what you explaining. The fucking, the insecurities, the suffering and all of that. America did that. Why did they pay the Jews? They paid the Jews for something that was done to them in another country. But America took that on.
Yeah.
When the Muslims come from overseas, it's easier for them to get a business. Mexicans, it's easier for them to get businesses and houses.
I understand all of that. You're 100% right by that. But what I'm saying is, everything that you're saying right now
is educational. Know who you are.
It is.
And you look at what they
do. It's also a mindset.
Do you realize next time you speak to that lady, just seriously ask her. Don't ask her that you just said at your job that says she don't understand.
I don't talk to her.
Oh, you don't? Why?
I don't ever see her like that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna tell you something, and you ask a Caribbean person. A lot of times the reason why they don't talk to us or they don't really understand our plight is because they look at us like, yo, y'all are so ignorant that you're going to come over here and instead of fighting tooth and nail to get the things that you are owed, you're willing to keep learning the education from these people that are dividing y'all. And they sitting back making money off of y'all.
You don't think paying rent is doing that?
Listen, man. Yes, it is. It depends. I don't know who owns every house.
Bro, that's where we went
all over here for you to say that you agree. Hold on. No, what I'm saying, I don't think it's small-minded. Hold on. You asked me, just because somebody don't want to buy a house, that means they're not pro-black?
You just said, they look at us and say you don't want to fight for the things, you don't want to fight tooth and nail and allow people to make money off of you. That's renting.
Hold on. What I'm saying as far as making money off you is when you fucking go out here and you hate on your own brother and you want to kill your brother, they making money off you.
Right, that's another way they make money off
you. They making money off you every kind of way.
They also make money off
you. They making off you every kind of way.
Yeah. And another way is if you can afford to not be in that situation and you ain't...
Okay, but even still, they still making money off you when you buy a house.
Yeah, but also getting money.
They making money off you regardless when you buy a house.
I understand
even
that.
When you
but you also are putting yourself in a better position to make money from yourself.
Okay, but guess what? Let me ask you a question.
Is $1 better than none?
Let me ask you a question. What, in all sincerity, what did Grandpa who owned the house and Nana who owned the house, what did they get on the return of their investment?
I ain't gonna put the business out there, but they didn't own it.
Nana owned it.
No,
they was paying on it.
Yeah.
Okay, well guess what? This is my point.
My point is you putting yourself in a position when you pay it off, it's yours.
Hold on, but like I said, once again,
when do you pay off your rent?
Depending on how old you are and how long your mortgage is, you might not never pay it off.
But she would.
You might not never pay it off.
You might not. But you ain't never gonna. But that's what I'm saying. That's what it's that's a mindset. If you go into it thinking that way, we ain't never gonna. But I'm just saying, like, yo, you can't look at it like that.
Hold on, I'm not saying you can't. rent. But what I'm saying is I can understand somebody that says a mortgage is just a glorified way of paying rent or saying that you're paying rent. But guess what? That has nothing to do with a person over here not wanting to do it. They small-minded. That has nothing to do with them saying, yo, guess what? I'm willing to fight. So guess what? Maybe Habib and them might own this building. But guess what? If I fight along with everybody, Chris might own this building. And I don't mind paying Chris the money.
And you know what me as Chris would say? I'd rather you fight and you get the building next to me and then you own that building and I own this building.
But if they say that they don't want to do it.
I'm saying that they can afford it. Your example.
I understand that. All right. If they don't want to.
I think we have a responsibility as black people. We can't be in a position to do something.
Responsibility. I'm going to tell you what our responsibility is.
Right,
our responsibility is to get out here, look at the fucking news, and look at when they saying, not pick and choose what I want to look at, be like, oh shit. Right now they talking about reparations. But ain't nobody on Washington talking about, let's go march and make sure they pass that bill. Nobody knows that. I found out something this week that I had no idea.
Let me say this is something that's uncommon. This is an unpopular opinion.
Hold on. Let me finish this. This is how crazy this shit is. That we talking about the oppressor. I found something out this week that I had no idea. I thought the shit was dealing with the sun and all of this shit. You know, daylight savings time could become a law.
No.
You didn't know that?
No.
That they trying to vote to where they want to get enough votes to where daylight savings time will stay right where it is right now and you never turn the clock back or forward again? This is what happens when we don't watch the news and don't know what the fuck is going on. We sit here and watch sports, we want to know about this one and that one, but we don't want to know the shit that's necessary for us to learn. And this is what I'm saying.
I don't understand how you can take that stance.
Because guess what?
I feel like you're talking out both sides of your mouth.
How?
What I'm just saying.
I always talk about education.
That's education. If you even reparations, right? Even reparations. And this is an unpopular opinion. Are we owed reparations? Yes. Am I gonna keep begging the oppressor to give me a fucking handout? No. Like you just said,
why is that a handout? If you sit here, you just sat here and said you calling them the oppressor.
Yep.
You said they done made it to where we insecure. We what else are we? We mentally traumatized. We mentally unstable and all of this.
I didn't say mentally unstable.
Well, what you call it?
I just said traumatized.
And you said mental health is at an all-time high. Where does that come from?
That's with everybody.
Where does that come from?
Huh? Trauma.
That comes from trauma. So in a majority of the trauma that are caused on us is from the quote-unquote, what you said, oppressor, correct? Yeah. So then guess what? Why wouldn't he pay what he owed when he paying somebody else for something he didn't do?
How the
fuck are we begging?
How long we been asking for reparations?
I don't know how long we've been asking.
Exactly.
We were told we were going to get it.
I'm saying.
Hold on. Asking and being told.
All right, so when were we told we was going to get it?
Once they freed the slaves, we was told we was supposed to get 40 acres and a mule.
Right. We still ain't got it, right? Right. So at this point.
So at that point, you saying give up, don't ask.
I didn't say that.
You saying we begging.
No, I didn't say.
You said how long do we keep begging?
Right.
I don't remember nobody even going down there enforcing the issue.
At this point, I feel like we are begging. This is we owe, yes, but they not trying to give it to you.
Why?
If you don't realize they ain't trying to give it to you,
no, I understand.
So that's what
hold on. No, but I said why. Do you know why they ain't trying to give it to you?
No, I don't know why.
Okay, all right.
I don't know why.
Okay.
But I know that they ain't trying to give it to me.
So guess what? The fact that they ain't trying. So if right now your motherfucking job said, yo, you fired. You know what I'm saying? And you had to figure out a way to pay this mortgage, and your choices were either go out here and ask your boss to get your job back, and deal with him or her, and them telling you no, where you might have to go back 5 times, but the 4th time you feel like you begging.
Over 50 years?
No, I ain't saying over 50 years.
That's what we've been doing.
It's longer than 50 years, bro.
I'm saying, I said over 50 years.
Listen, I don't remember us begging for nothing.
I'm just saying. I said they told. You said they told you.
They said that they was going to give this. They told the slaves they was giving them 40 acres and a mule. Yeah. But then guess what? A lot of people didn't beg for nothing. Because in Oklahoma, they went out there and they took what they wanted and they built their own community and they got burned down.
I know. That's speaking to my point. You said Caribbean people look at us and be like, y'all don't want to fight tooth and nail. That's what I'm talking about. The people in Oklahoma, they went and did their thing and they created their own community. We're not doing that. Like, if they give us reparations at this point, fuck it. Like, thank you. You owe us that. But I'm not going to keep me like this. Give me my reparations while I'm sitting here and paying rent to this motherfucker.
Okay, so guess what?
I'm paying rent to the motherfucker who I'm asking for reparations.
So why would you fight for the revolution then?
Huh?
So you saying then guess what? Ain't no reason.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Reparations and the revolution are two separate things.
How is this separate?
Because when we talk about equality and equal opportunity,
that will put you closer to equal.
It will put you closer, but it's not making you equal.
You'll never be equal with them.
All right then. So that's why the revolution is separate.
I don't give a fuck.
The revolution is separate. You just said it.
Listen to what I'm saying. If you're willing to fight for a revolution that you're not getting nothing from, you're never going to be equal to them. Guess what? What are you fighting for?
I don't understand.
What are you fighting for?
This is the whole shit. Like,
what are you fighting for?
We put
I'm asking you a question. What are you
I'm answering your question. We put a lot of onus on this whole 40 acres and a mule. To be honest, that shit's not happening. Like I said, they're not making more land. It's just not happening. Right? So at this point, 40 acres and a mule is a test. So it's a test. Okay, right? So we put value on fucking money. When we can create our own fucking money. Money is an idea.
Listen, if they give people that say living in a project that value the idea of owning their own property, one thing they are doing is building up properties where people can go buy something on a property. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but there's not enough to go around for everybody that lives in a live everywhere.
Listen,
they don't have one.
I said not everybody's going to want that, and we know that. Not everybody's going to. Nobody enjoys the idea of owning a home. But people will enjoy the idea of owning something. So now, guess what?
So what do you think 40 acres and a mule in 2021 looks like?
What do I think it looks like? I don't give a fuck what it looks like.
I'm asking you a question.
I don't know, but I know, guess what? It gives me an opportunity, like you said, to be able to leave something for my children to do whatever the fuck they want to do with.
It's a check.
Listen, if it's a check that's big enough for me to buy a piece of fucking land.
They're not making more land.
Chris,
that's my point.
Hold on, you missing my whole fucking point.
I'm not missing your point.
You right. It's no more land to be made, but it's land to be built on. You saying that?
No, you right.
So if that means if they're able to knock down fucking trees or burn down fucking half a forest in California, what you think they're getting ready to do out there? What you think they're gonna do with that? They're just going to leave no trees, nothing. No open space, nothing. You don't think they're going to cultivate that land in some kind of way?
They are.
Okay, so then guess what?
Everybody don't live in California, you're not cutting down.
Hold on. You just said that there's nowhere for... Man, it's land everywhere that's uninhabited.
And do you believe in global warming?
Yeah.
All right. So that's why I'm saying there's not more land, right? So every black person can't get 40 acres and a mule because there's not more land.
You might not get 40 acres, but if they give you enough money, the 40 acres and mules we know is out of here.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying to you is you saying a check. I'm agreeing with you. They give you that check. But that check is enough money for you to go buy a piece of that land that's left. For you to build up on it, whatever the fuck you want to build up.
You think you're going to get that much money?
You don't think you're not?
You talking about over $1 million?
If they gave the Jews under Obama's administration, which was what, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Huh?
He went in originally in 2009.
He went in. He did 8 years, and he came out when 4 years ago.
Yeah. How much did they get?
They gave them millions of dollars. They gave the Jewish community millions of dollars.
Community or each family?
Right now they're looking at, they call it direct descendants of slavery.
Okay.
DDS. Now go look it up. They're going to tell you some bullshit that Obama...
I really don't know.
This is my point. We don't fucking listen.
But I'm asking you.
I just told you. They gave
asking. That's why I'm looking it up. You say you didn't know.
I'm telling you what it's going to say. Under the Obama administration, they didn't give the Jews reparations against popular belief or some crazy shit. But I know it happened. That's factual. And like I said, Jews... So,
it was $12 million, right? So, the Obama administration has awarded $12 million for assistance to Holocaust survivors. So, combined with matching private funds, the approximately $2.5 million year over year, the 5 years will support $4.1 million of programs annually for organizations that help Holocaust survivors. With this award, we'll be able to advance our efforts to provide crucial services to vulnerable survivors. So that's talking about across the broad community. That's not $1 million per family.
What you fail to realize, I'm not talking about what we looking for. Direct descendants of slaves will get money.
I understand that, but it's not enough money to do what you're saying.
You don't know. You just sat here and said you didn't have as much money as you have now, but you was able to get a mortgage, correct?
Yeah.
With less than stellar credit, correct?
Yes.
So the people that want to be able to do that, they will be able to do that.
But what I'm telling you is, it's not enough. It's not enough for every black person to get that check, and everybody won't be able to do that. Is what my point.
So let me ask you a question. A person right now, right? If half the people in military, let's just say break down half the people in military. You take even the little bullshit they giving with the stimulus. If people like you said, which I agree with, if you didn't go out and want to fucking go buy Jordans or go buy unnecessary bullshit, if your goal is to own something, that's a start right there.
You're absolutely right.
So what I'm saying to you, if they give you money, if they just give you a check, minimum $20,000. It's
not gonna be that.
Okay, say they give you 10. $10,000.
You want to know what this is broken down to?
I don't care, because that's programs and things of that nature. First of all, the money they get, Chris, is unbelievable.
I understand that, but if you break it down,
Chris,
they said $12 million across all
Chris,
survivors.
listen to what I'm saying. Before you even break that money down, I'm gonna let you break that down. All right? Because you want to break that down. But you missing the total point of what I asked you earlier that you don't want to address.
What?
If you were living in this house right now on welfare, they will come take this motherfucker.
What is that for me to address?
Why do they get to do it?
That's nothing for me to address.
What do you mean? You want to address
that's a rhetorical question. They get to do it because they got the power. So that's a rhetorical question. That's a rhetorical question. That doesn't require an answer.
Guess what?
That does not require an answer. You know that.
So that goes back to what I'm saying.
Education
and power in numbers.
Okay. So like I said, that didn't require an answer. I'm not dodging that. You talking about?
But they're getting more than $93.
I'm talking about they getting $12 million across 130,000 Holocaust survivors. That breaks down to $92 a person. What the fuck are you doing with $90?
Chris, do you realize they get welfare?
Okay.
Do you realize
what is welfare?
What do you mean? What is welfare?
I'm just saying. What is that?
They get food stamps. They get assisted living.
Okay.
They have their own communities where they own the houses that the government is paying for.
Yeah.
So they're paying for them.
Yeah.
Well, we just got here. You said there's no reason to answer that. It's a rhetorical question. They living in a community that look like this, and guess what?
You said, why did they get to do it? I said they got the power. That's a rhetorical
Okay,
question.
so guess what? How do they have that kind of power?
Like you just said, they came together.
Okay then.
All right.
That's what I'm trying to explain.
And that's what I'm telling you is the mindset why we don't come together.
Chris, if the oppressors put us in this position, why are we going along to get along there? Why are we looking at them that they would accept us for somebody that we're not? Obviously, they feel they're superior to us when we know and we believe, according to you, that we're superior to them. Why do we accept the things that they give us? And sit here and try and, we eat pork. We'll argue each other down about shit that we didn't do until we was brought over here and they gave it to us.
I think you saying accept the things that they give us. I think paying a rent is accepting what they give you if you can afford to not pay rent.
All right. So I'm agree with you on that. Okay, so that's one aspect of it.
Right.
That's somebody that is accepting, like I said, accepting, rather than coming together and saying, yo, fuck them. I know who I am, and yo, I'm all for my people. I don't have to go along to get along with them.
That's what I said.
That's not true. That's not what you said.
I said that's small-minded.
The Jews are saying, guess what? We're not going along to get along. We're going to get everything that we feel we deserve.
They're not paying rent if they can afford to not pay rent.
No, they're paying rent in some cases, but
if they can't afford it,
the government is paying for it. Even their mortgage, the government is paying for it.
I don't. We just go. You just not gonna understand me.
Look up Muncie, man. Look up Muncie, New York.
That's fine.
Look up Muncie, New York. It's no buildings, it's houses, and they're on.
I know what you're talking about, but what I'm telling you is that's not what I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about you made an example.
Do you see them coming out here and saying, "I want to mingle with the oppressor"? They stay amongst themselves.
Who was talking about that? I'm talking about doing something as a black man or
woman.
No,
you said that. Guess what? We go out here, we generalize, and this, that, and the third. You don't think
that's a different conversation? That was a different part of the conversation.
Hold on.
You brought up saying that somebody who's in an apartment that can afford their home,
that's not
and they don't want to. That's more minded in my opinion.
Okay, so that's on you, and that's why I said anybody that looked at you would have been like, "Yo, for him to be eating ramen, guess what? That's small minded to me."
I can't afford nothing more than ramen. They could afford more than an apartment.
Guess what? You could afford it. You could have went out and got a third job.
How? Well, what kind?
It's time.
No, it ain't.
Yes,
no, it ain't. You sound crazy. You sound crazy. Y'all didn't even see me when I lived in that apartment.
We don't see you now.
I'm always working.
We don't see you now.
Okay. So don't tell me there's more time. Listen, 7 days a week, like I said, 2 jobs, overtime. And I can afford only
somebody could say, I think that's small-minded. I would have got
That's not the same situation. That's not the same situation. You're talking about somebody who can afford it versus me who couldn't.
A full-time job is 8 hours a day, correct?
Yep.
How many hours in a day is it?
24.
Okay. You can work 2 full-time jobs. I know people that do it.
Yep,
they work
16
hours, they go to sleep, they right back on the grind.
Yep.
Some of them people want houses, and they got houses.
Yep.
And that's what they do. So a person could look at you and be like, yo, he was in that situation, he was much younger than me, and guess what? I feel that was small-minded. He was settling. That's fine.
Yep.
But neither here nor there. I'm not saying that you were small-minded. All I'm saying to you is you can't look at a person that has their mindset and saying what they're going to do, just like you sat here and said, yo, I ain't have time.
No,
they can be
I just think because I'm using the key word that you used by saying they could afford. And me, I could not afford in my situation, right? In my situation, regardless of how that situation was, 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 7 jobs, I couldn't afford to be out of whatever situation I was in. You said that person can afford.
What I'm saying to you is they could look at it and be like, okay.
They can look at it however they want.
This is my point.
The fact is, they can afford you. I couldn't afford.
That's not true. Because if you would have gone and got another full-time job.
I'm talking about the situation.
Hold on.
I'm talking about the situation. If they wasn't working the job they was working, they wouldn't be able to afford it. They can afford it. They chose not to. I couldn't afford it.
They chose to do what they did.
And I chose to do what I did.
This is my point. So that you don't.
And I couldn't, and they could.
Hold on. But you're looking at your situation. Yo, well, they got their opinion. That ain't small-minded. Because it was time.
No.
They just said, I'm relaxed and I'm comfortable with what I'm doing. No. That's not small-minded.
All right. That makes 0 sense to me.
To you.
That's
just like it
makes sense to me.
Okay. But to some people, your situation wouldn't make sense to them.
I think more people would understand my situation than that one.
I doubt it. You know why? Because I was in your situation.
Yep.
And guess what? I didn't work 2 jobs, but I did what I had to do to get up out of that situation.
So and
hold on, no.
So did I. I'm not in that situation anymore.
No, hear what I'm saying.
Okay.
It didn't take months for me to get out of that situation.
Okay. Well, how long did it take you?
What?
How long did it take you?
It took me maybe a month.
Okay.
Maybe a month.
Okay.
You know why?
Okay.
You know why?
All right.
Now, I didn't go to legal right with everything I did. I had a full-time job, and I was doing a couple of other things that I shouldn't have been doing. But guess what? I wasn't going to be living like that. And on top of that, I had more bills.
How?
Because I was paying child support.
I guarantee you my student loans is way more than
No, I ain't talking. Hold on.
That's a bill.
Hold on.
That's a bill, my dude. And that's why I said I couldn't afford it.
Hear what I'm saying.
That's why I said I couldn't
Listen to what
afford
I'm
it.
saying. Listen to what I'm saying,
Okay.
man.
Okay.
You personalize.
No, you personalize.
No,
you compared you to me.
Hold on, no, I didn't. What I'm saying to you is, small. You talking about somebody that
taking it other places and they don't want me to take it there. You taking it other places and don't want me to take it.
I don't care what you say.
Don't me too.
So guess what? What I'm saying to you is, for you to look at somebody that's small-minded, that have it, that choose to do what they want to do. You chose to do what you want to do and live and eat what you want to eat. Period. That was a choice that you made. That don't make you small-minded. That was a choice you made. That was a choice you made.
We speaking on different planes. You don't understand.
How you figure the plane is different?
It is. Clearly.
How?
Clearly.
I'm making a choice that I'm comfortable with my decision. You made a choice that you were comfortable with your decision.
There's a key
Who
difference.
am I to say that you are small-minded or he's more open-minded?
There's a key difference.
What's the key difference?
I ain't gonna keep explaining it.
You made a choice. Everybody has a choice.
All right, bro. You got it. Like I said, we speaking on different planes.
Hey,
You're not gonna understand.
Yo,
I've been trying to get you to understand for an hour. I ain't gonna keep doing
it.
it.
Because you making no sense.
That's fine.
A person's decision
that's fine.
is their decision.
That's fine. That's fine. Hey, listen to that. Like I said, we speaking on different planes. You ain't gonna understand.
I understand wholly what you're saying.
You don't.
You think because you own a house
No,
that somebody that don't
said.
want a house that can afford it is small-minded. They think you're small-minded.
I do.
That's not true.
Okay.
They're making a decision that's comfortable for them.
Right. And what great ever came out of comfortability?
What?
What great ever came out of comfortability?
Listen, everybody don't look at shit as to who's to say who's great.
I'm not talking about
who's to say who's great.
I'm not talking about a person.
Okay, what's
I'm
great?
talking about any great accomplishment.
Great?
Anything that's
What
worth
is
having.
great?
Let me talk. Anything that's worth having comes with struggle. It comes with hardship. Anything in this life, and if you watching this and you looking at me, anything you get in this life that comes easy is gonna leave easy. Anything that your ass gotta work for and bust your ass for is gonna be worth having. So if you comfortable, yeah, that shit ain't gonna be fulfilling.
That's not true.
Yes, all right.
That's not
If
true.
you get it comfortably, it's not gonna be something that's fulfilling or worth having.
Just because somebody is living comfortable and able to make a
I'm not talking about living comfortable.
Listen, you
with that statement.
You said comfortability. If I'm comfortable paying rent because I don't want to buy a house, that don't mean that I'm any less than somebody that out here got a house.
I didn't say you was less.
You said that's small-minded thinking.
If you can afford to not be in that situation.
You saying that you're greater than them.
I'm not talking about greater or less than. I'm talking about mindset. My mindset, yeah, I think on a bigger plane than you. I'm not saying I'm better than you. I'm not better than you. I want you to think bigger. Oh, I want you to think bigger because I believe it's bigger than you.
So guess what? You said what great comes out of comfortability, right?
Yep.
What's great?
Yeah.
Great is just like beauty.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No,
it's
it's
in the
not.
eye of the beholder.
No, it's not.
So what's great?
Huh?
Tell me what's great.
Pick a subject.
What's great?
Pick a subject.
No, you tell me.
All right. In sports, greatness is winning the championship, right? In sports, you achieve greatness by being the best in what you're doing. What motherfucker won a championship? All right. Now you stop me. That's why I asked you what plane.
I'm answering to that.
All right.
You telling me there's people that won championships that might not have been less than Paul?
Less than part of who?
To anybody. There could have been people that were better than Michael Jordan that didn't win because they.
Michael Jordan. I'm saying Michael Jordan was not comfortable to get to where he was.
Right.
He practiced, right? I'm not talking about you talking about people being better than him. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about he busted his ass to get where he was at. Everybody that's in the NBA, NFL, NHL, MLB, if you made it to a professional sport, we talking fans like this cat sucks, but that dude will bust your ass 9 times out of 10. He's the best in the world, amongst the best in the world what he does. That's why I said pick the plane, right? If you want to talk about business, right? You have a multi-million-dollar corporation. That doesn't come from comfortability. Right? That does not come from comfortability. You have these meetings and shit, and you come up with strategies to make more money. That shit requires brain power. It requires sacrifice. It requires hard work. Anything in this life, your family loves you because you bust your ass and you work hard. right? That shit didn't come from comfortability. You work these long-ass shifts in the fire department, take your ass from Delaware, drive into New York, drive back. That's not comfortable. That's greatness. Pick the plane, right?
Well,
to be a great parent, it requires sacrifice. You got to put them kids before you. That's not comfortable. My mom, she raised me and my sister as a single parent. There were times when she cooked 2 cube steaks and 3 of us in the house. She ain't eat. That's not comfortable. But she made sure her babies ate. You know what I'm saying? That's greatness. Pick the plane. None of that shit comes from comfortability.
I don't look at that as being great.
That's all greatness.
All what you said, don't. Everything is not being great.
You're great. That's greatness, yo.
All it is saying that you are willing to sacrifice.
Greatness requires sacrifice.
Everything great don't require everything that requires sacrifice. Don't mean it's great.
So name me something that comes great that you did without any being comfortable the entire time.
I didn't see.
I'm asking you.
Hold on. That's where you took. Hold on. See, you're taking this shit so personal.
I'm not taking it personal. It has nothing to do with me.
You keep cutting me off because you all hyper. Yo,
hold on. Because I want us to think better of ourselves.
Hold on. If that's the case, then we will come together like I've been saying. Instead of looking at this motherfucker on the golf course, yo, come on, man, I'm going to teach you.
I'm not looking at him.
Hold on.
I'm looking at us.
Okay, guess what? Then if you're looking at us, you will pick us up and teach us.
I'm talking to us right now.
Hold on. Stop interrupting me and listen for a change.
I'm listening.
You wouldn't be sitting here talking about, I don't know. And I'm not just talking about you. I'm talking about people in general. I don't give a fuck if you black, white, Chinese, or what. If it's uncomfortable, people don't want to deal with it. But if you want to talk about different shit, like the other day, I watched you talking to somebody that you don't know, and I'm sitting there like, I can't let this shit go too far. Because guess what? Number one, nobody wants to get in the book and learn what the fuck we are and what the fuck we came from and why we do the things we do. So when I said that about Meghan Markle, yes, I said that. Because guess what? At the end of the day, you're looking for acceptance from somewhere, you're not going to fucking get it. Because instead of you looking at your own and saying, I'm going to build this person up and we're going to build together. And we're going to be the example.
So how do you do that?
How do you do that?
You tell me.
Hold on.
You tell me.
I told you a couple of episodes ago. You start by loving your fucking self.
Right.
When you love yourself, you will love your own.
Right.
And then you will build up your own. That's why I brought up the Jews. The Jews ain't saying, yo, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to make friends with the quote-unquote oppressor.
That's not what I've been talking about this entire time.
Yo, you just sat here and said the oppressor has made us uncomfortable. He's made us this, that, and the third. Hold on, but that's an excuse.
That's not an excuse. Because I told you how we don't use that as an excuse and take our power into our own hands. You telling me that that's not small-minded thinking for somebody to be in a position to take it into their own hands and choose not to. So I'm asking you, if that's not building our people, what is?
Son, you don't know what they're doing.
I'm asking you.
Just because
I'm not even hype no more.
Just because they don't want to own a house doesn't make a person small-minded.
All right, so
now if they're willing to sacrifice everything that they do have and put their money toward, like let's just say, like the Black Lives Matter, that's they're gonna start the revolution. So I'm gonna take the extra money I have and I'm gonna put it into that, and that shit ain't shit.
Yeah.
It ain't shit. But guess what? You look at that as, they small-minded because they don't have a house. They choose not to buy it.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm speaking to a specific example. If they can. So my question to you is, take it off me.
If they do buy a house.
No, I'm not talking. Fuck the buying a house, right? Because you said that's not small-minded, right? That's not small-minded. So what I'm saying to you is, if owning, as a black person in America, if choosing not to own land or anything like that, when you have the ability to do so, if not small-minded, right? And you said, knowing yourself, when you know yourself, you love others that are like you, and you build them up. Is that correct? What you said? So how does a person do that?
You do that by going out here and speaking and preaching the fact of love. Then guess what? I'm gonna show you.
Has that not been happening?
Has not been
happening? Have people not been going out here and speaking about black love and the power?
No, people speak to it.
But their actions don't show it, right?
Right.
That's my whole fucking point. That's my whole fucking point.
What's your point?
Never mind. Like I said, we're speaking on two different planes.
Speak to it.
If you know yourself as a black person, right? You know you are superior. You don't own nothing in this country. You have the ability to own something in this country, and you choose not to. You don't know yourself, you don't love yourself, in my opinion, and you ain't trying to further black people, in my opinion.
So you owning a house does what for black people?
It does more than renting does.
No, I'm asking you a question.
I told you.
If
you have a lineage, and you can pass that down.
Hold on. We ain't talking about your family. We talking about us as a whole.
Is your family not a part of the whole?
Oh, shit.
Is your family not a part of the whole?
Your family is a whole of your situation.
It's a whole part of the whole of black people.
Hold on. Your family is not the whole of me and my family.
All right.
Because what you do with your family don't
That's
have
not true.
Oh, shit.
That's not true.
Huh?
Because in the exact situation you gave, right? So let's say if we own this house, right? We own this house. We pass this down. Let's say, for instance, my kids don't want it, right? They don't want to do anything with it, but you might want it and do something with it. I can give that to you.
Okay, but guess what? What I'm saying to you, if your kids want it, how are you doing anything for us as a people by you owning a house? When you could take your money and be funding something that you feel is supposed to be something that's quote unquote uplifting us that ain't doing shit. But you don't know that, but you're donating your extra money and your extra time to doing that.
If you own something, that's a part of a community, right? Right? I'm asking you.
What?
I'm asking you something.
Yeah,
if I own this house, right? That's a part of this community.
It's a part of this community.
Right. Houses are going for sale all the time, right? So let's just say that this house was paid off, right? And we were making extra money. Let me finish. I'm gonna tell you.
Right.
If we making money that we don't have to apply to a mortgage, right? And there's a house that's for sale down the block in this same community that we could assist with that money to put another family in it, aka another family, your family, or somebody else in the black community, and we fill this neighborhood up with people that look like us.
Okay, I can understand that.
That's furthering the community.
I can understand that, and that's what I talked about as far as. We talked about the Jews doing, and that's that you speaking to my point.
It starts with owning.
No, it starts with us. It starts with you saying, "Guess what? I'm out here, and my whole process is I'm going to build up mine. I'm building from within to deal with that.
You can't build from within if you don't take the step to own anything. My example.
If I'm building within, I'm going out here and I'm saying, guess what? I'm gonna grab Chris. I'm going to grab Chris along. We're going to do what we got to do. Chris going to grab his friend. Wise is going to grab another friend. We're going to pool our money together. We're going to start something and show people this is how we're going to do it. Then pull somebody else in.
And my boys will tell you, I talk about that all the time.
We're not even talking.
I'm just saying.
But what I'm saying to you is, guess what?
I'm on that time.
Okay, if you're on that time, then you would understand what I'm talking about.
I do, but you're talking out of both sides of your mouth, like I said.
No, I'm not. Because you wouldn't be looking at nobody else outside of your fucking people as like, yo.
That's not somebody outside of my people that we're describing. You said somebody that can afford to not rent. I'm thinking of somebody black that can afford to not rent, that's choosing not to. I'm not looking outside of my community.
You're saying it again. Their choice.
Like I said, we're on different planes.
So guess what? That choice don't mean they can't go and say, you know what, Chris? You need what, 40,000, and I got 40,000. I'm gonna give it to you to uplift the community.
And you know
just because I don't want it, because now guess what? That's small-minded. And what I'm saying is, once again, the Jews grab each other, they pull with each other. They're not looking over here at the quote-unquote your word oppressor and wanting to get along. Hey.
Nobody said that. That's your words. I never
They're not looking at it like that.
I never once said that.
Guess what?
When did I say that?
Wherever
entire 2-hour conversation, when did I say that?
I go, I'm just bringing
When did I say that in the 2-hour conversation?
You said, why do I look at Meghan as not knowing herself?
Yeah.
Because if you know yourself, you know for years.
So you basically saying because she married him, she don't know
herself. No, I did not say that.
So what are you saying?
You said that she could not give herself to him because she's looking at them. I'm saying you can give yourself to somebody because it's fucked them. But if you're going to look at everybody, you're going to know that guess what? They don't give a fuck about me. They've been showing you that. And if you know history, that's why they ain't like fucking Princess Diana.
What that has nothing.
That family shows you that.
I understand that, but you like.
So what the fuck are we talking about? If you understood that, you wouldn't be talking about.
Yeah, I would, because that's
unbelievable.
That never was the point.
The point was she don't know herself.
I said that that's an unfair. What I said about that was an unfair.
The same way way you looking at somebody that don't want to own, that can own, and small-minded is the same way I'm looking at her.
That's fine. And we said that an hour ago.
Period.
We said that an hour ago.
Period.
You keep talking about
you
wanting to get along, wanting to get along. That's never what I said.
That's what I see.
Well,
that's the bottom line. Every black motherfucker want to get along and say, yo, I'm cool, I'm comfortable to stand over here. Like you brought up, you said you don't believe. I can't wait to get you on the phone where they going to tell you, yo, your brother is a different animal, man. He going
I'm not saying, no.
Listen,
he going to wrong. You twisted that again. That's why I said we're talking on a different plane. I said, what I said about that, about you going in the room like that, you have the mindset.
Hold on. You said you doubt that I would go in there and be just like I am.
I didn't say that. That's not what I said. I said I doubt that. I said you do that, but you have the mindset.
You saying it because it's more white people in the room. I'm the only black person. So when I go in there, I'm acting like I would act if it's black people in the room. You said you doubt that.
No, I didn't say that.
You did so.
No, I didn't.
Oh, shit.
I said I doubt that you don't feel anxiety. I said I doubt that you don't feel anxiety. That's why I said we're talking on a different plane.
Guess what?
And you not understand what I'm saying.
At the end of the day,
you do have anxiety because you said that you act like that because you know it's gonna make them uncomfortable. Right. That's anxiousness.
No, it ain't. What it is I'm being me all the time. They can never say, you can't get a motherfucker to say, yo, when Wise walk in the room and he's the only black person, he acts different than he do when he around a whole bunch of black people. Now, if you get somebody on the phone that tell you that, then I'll say you right. You can't get nobody to do that. I'm not going in the room to get along just to go along and get along. I'm being me. I'm being me and I don't give a fuck who like it or not.
I didn't say you was.
Period.
And that ain't anxiety. You twisting
anxiety. Because guess what? I can go in a room full of black people not knowing who likes me, not knowing nobody.
Anxiety too.
Guess what? No, it ain't. That's how you deal with shit.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm telling you, your exact words in regards to a situation.
No, I'm going to tell you my words again so we clear.
That.
I will go in a room and be me, knowing that it will piss you off because you don't like me. Mm-hmm. I'm not going in no room and saying, yo, they don't like me. I'm just going to be chilling. To me, that's anxiety and that's an insecurity. That, yo, I can't be myself because if I be myself, they're going to judge me. I don't give a fuck who I'm around. I don't care who I'm around. I will be me. And when I leave that motherfucking room, they know me for who the fuck I am. And I'm going to keep it real with you. That's why I think my daughter got shafted on had the teams out here in Delaware and all that. Because I was being who the fuck I am, just like these people were being who they were, but they were accepted. And I wasn't. Period, point blank.
I think as a black person and you admitting the fact that you know how we are perceived in society, it's natural to have anxiety.
You're not going to change it.
I'm not saying you're going to change it, Monty, and that's why I think you're
I think that when you have anxiety for it is when you try and change the perception or the narrative.
I think we put negative connotations on actual feelings in people. That's why you saying you're not anxious because it's looked at in our community as a weak emotion. It is. No. It is. You're like when somebody says they have anxiety, it's looked at like, yo, you got problems.
That's not true.
But it's not a weakness. Anxiety is another way of saying that you're alert to a situation. You are alert to the fact that they don't like you. You would be a fool to go in a room of all white people and not at least have a high alert on like, yo, you're paying attention. And
well, I'm gonna tell you like this: if you call that anxiety, then I'm very anxious around people I don't know.
Yes.
And guess what? I'm gonna tell you why. Because the same way I am in a room full of white people and I'm the only black is the same way I walk in a room full of black people and I'm not the only black.
Right, and you said that earlier and I said that's anxiety too.
I don't think it's anxiety because when I get anxious, I start sweating and all that shit.
That's a higher degree.
What I have is this. Wherever I go, whoever I'm around, when I leave there, they know, yo, that's Wise. That's Wise, period, point blank. You're never going to see him be any different than who the fuck he is. If you go to his cookout, that's who the fuck he is. You're not going to see him being this way over here unless it's some shit like a job interview or something like that. But if I'm at work and I've been working there after I learn what the fuck the job is, guess what? You come to my cookout, I'm going to be the same person I am, whether I'm at work, whether I'm at home, whatever. I don't give a fuck. I know people don't like me. And see, that's the problem that people have. People want to go along and get along and fit in. I don't give a fuck about what nobody think about me. I never did. I never did. Because at the end of the day, there's people closest to me that I know don't give a fuck about me. So guess what? At the end of the day, okay, cool. So why would I care about what somebody outside care about me?
But saying, like, I think you're mixing the emotions.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
It's all the same emotion.
It's not.
Okay, to you it ain't. To me it is. To me it is. Because guess what? Whether you a person I don't know, what I will say is this. It hurts that a motherfucker close to you can think of you the way a person outside might think of you. And then, hold on, and then to know that the person outside only thinks you that way because they don't know you, but when they see that you that same person, period, no matter where the fuck you at, that's who the fuck he is, and they fucking tend to love you for who you are, and the person that knows you have an issue with you, you notice me. Guess what? Like you said, you know, I don't be around. You know what I'm saying? Guess what? I'm fine. I'm over here. I always tell you this. I'm out the way. I don't need no new friends. All my friends, we cool. We do what we do. Period, point blank. You know what I'm saying? All that extra shit, don't need no new friends. I don't give a fuck if a motherfucker be like, yo, Chris, I don't really fuck with your brother. This, that, and the third. I don't give a fuck. And if they say it to me, and I'll tell them. And guess what? If the shit got to go a step further, I will curse them out. Then you have to deal with it. However you going to have to deal with it. Because guess what? I don't give a fuck. And you know that if you call me, I will tell you, yeah, I did it. Don't call me with the bullshit. I don't want to hear it. We're not talking about it. Yes, I did it. Now tell them, don't talk to you. They can see me anywhere and we can handle it. How we going to handle it? I don't give a fuck about people like that. Period, point blank. Now, maybe that's how I grew up, and I ain't talking about no white people, because white people really didn't do nothing to me.
Yeah.
I played sports and all of that shit, and to be honest with you, it was a lot of the white people that treated me a lot better than black people that I fucking lived on a block with. But I do know this. When you go somewhere, when you're around, they tend to have a more... You under a microscope with them. Like, okay, I can see you doing that shit. When it could be this one over here.
Let me ask you this. You don't just think the mere fact that you have that in your mind going in, knowing that, right? Because I have that too, right? You don't think in the mere fact of knowing that could be the perception of you creates anxiety?
No.
And I'm not saying
I'm
that
gonna
it
tell
makes
you why I don't think so.
Don't think, and what I'm saying is by you mixing emotions, I think you're mixing anxiety and nervousness.
No, I'm gonna tell you, no. They're two different.
They are.
But what I'm saying to you, the reason why there's no anxiety with me in that situation, because I'm already expecting it. The unexpected is what creates anxiety in me. And I'm talking about me. I can't speak for you. I can't speak for nobody else. The unexpected is when I become anxious, and it becomes, you know what I mean? That's when, not so much all the time nervousness and things of that nature, but I become anxious because I'm like, I don't know how this shit gonna work out. I don't know. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But as far as judging people, pretty much I'm a great judge of character. I pretty much know who you are before you think you showed your hand to me. Because I could be in a room full of motherfuckers and could be sitting here having a conversation, but I know what the fuck you doing over there in that corner where that pipe is. And that's actual fact. And people on the fire department have said that. White and black, like, yo, you got this shit with you that, yo, I don't know how the fuck you do it. You could be sitting here bullshitting, but you know what the fuck is going on over there. And that is awareness at the highest point, because I'm never going to let you do something to me that's going to be unexpected. If you catch me off guard and you do something to me unexpected, you caught me hands down.
Yeah.
Period.
But you don't think that heightened sense of awareness, right? It's a good thing to have, right? But you don't think that creates stress within you?
It might create a kind of stress.
It does.
That's why
I say it's anxiety.
Nah, because I'm gonna tell you why. The stress part of it is when you like I told you about the pandemic. The pandemic to me is, and you know what it is? Like, when I was younger, I could deal with it more. Like, I could go to parties, I could be in a crowd. Now that I'm older, I can't do that because I'm nervous, but not the nervous that people think. I'm nervous because I know what I'm going to do to you if you try and do something to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I done been through a lot. So I'm going to do something real fucked up to you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm being dead ass serious. I'm going to do something so fucked up to you that the next person going to be like, God damn, why the fuck he had to do that?
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, yo, I think that shit was a little extra. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But the unknown is what caused anxiety in me. If I could walk in a room and I see, okay, boom, everything looks on par, it's just, I'm the outcast, ain't no anxiety in that. You know what I mean? I'm going to see how we going to deal. I'm going to see how we going to deal. And then once I see how you want to deal, then we going to deal on your terms.
Yeah. Yeah, I think what I think is, and this is just my opinion, and this is from me assessing myself, because prior and before, like I felt that exact same way, and I didn't think that it was anxiousness and things like that, but upon like inward study and stuff like that, and I'm not trying to sound like that I have all this shit figured out, because I don't. Like, I try to learn, like I'm learning every day, just like you learning every day or whatever like that. I feel like we've been dealing with some of this stuff for so long that we don't even recognize that it does cause additional stress. It does cause anxiety. We just used to dealing with it, so it's just like, yo, like fuck it. Like just like the same thing you talk about with like pork. Like, it's been, we condition ourselves to accept the fact that we eat scraps, right? So like when you said, you asked the pastor about why they eat pork and stuff like that, when it says in the Bible you shouldn't eat pork, I think we condition ourselves to do things, and then we do it for so long that we don't even realize the reasons why we do it and or how it makes us feel by us doing these certain things. Like, there was a story I heard before. There was like 3 daughters, right? And they were cooking a roast, and their mom was elderly. And the granddaughter in the kitchen, what they would do is cut the butt off the roast and then put it in the pan and put it in the oven, right? And the granddaughter asked her grandmother and was like, Nana, why we cut the butt off the roast every year or whatever like that? And she was like, dummy, we was cutting the butt off the roast because we didn't have a pan big enough to fit the entire roast. Y'all just kept doing that, and y'all got big enough pans, right? So I say that to say, like, I think we continue to do things and we don't put names on it. You know what I'm saying? We don't even recognize why we're doing stuff. We just aimlessly doing it because we've been conditioned to do it that way. Like, you talk about the heightened sense of awareness that you have because of the things that you've experienced and the environments that you've been in. You had to have a heightened sense of awareness, right? That sense of awareness saves your life in a lot of situations, right? You grow up in another environment, like I run into people where you be like, yo, you didn't see that? We walk across the street and like, nah, I ain't pay no attention to that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, like, how could you not see that? Like, that was literally right in front of our face.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you grow up in an environment where you don't have to worry about that. Like, where you talk about like people leaving their cars unlocked and front doors unlocked, and they go to sleep, wake up in the morning, like it doesn't matter. But like, I think we deal with so much, and that's why I talk about trauma. Like, we've been dealing with stuff all of our lives. We don't have no names for it. When people give names to it, it feels like we calling each other weak. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's part of our plight too. Is like we don't recognize the things that we're dealing with, and that's why I say we are resourceful. We are resilient, and that's why I believe we are superior, because we've had to deal with a hell of a lot more. And if you look at the situation, we behind, but we've had to make up so much ground. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm gonna stop you before you go there, because I'm gonna tell you something. And this shit was so profound to me when it was said to me that I really had to go back and analyze what was said to me, and then analyze everything you said. And I want you to think about this. And I want y'all to think about this. We always say this is something that we had to deal with. We was dealing with this. We dealt with this. We dealt with that. We got to deal with this tomorrow. We're dealing with that. When the whole time, you never dealt with nothing. And that's where the go along to get along comes from.
What do you mean we never dealt with nothing?
The stresses that you deal with, it's always been something that you ran away from without knowing you was running away from. You never had to deal with it.
Right, you never stand there and face whatever.
You never really face nothing in life
yeah.
because it's always been an out for you. But when you start looking at things for what they are, and that's why I'm saying about the Meghan Markle thing, that guess what? Okay, I do love this guy, but this is an actual fact. This is going to cause problems. This is going to cause problems. And it's going to cause problems because they had a problem where the woman wasn't even in an interracial relationship, but she just took to original children. And that's talking about Princess Diana.
Mm-hmm.
That's a well-known story that it's alleged that the royal family had her killed. You know what I'm saying? Because of the things that she was taking on and the people that she was dealing with. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? So the things that we say we dealing with, you got to really sit back and ask yourself, did you really deal with that? Like, it's been times where, God bless the dead, you and you know, our sister be like, yo, how did you form a relationship with daddy after everything and this, that, and the third? You know why? Because I was able to deal with what I didn't never want to deal with as a kid. The things that I might have saw that, yeah, I felt that I was dealing with it until I got old enough to be like, yo, guess what? Whatever's going to come of this is going to come of it, and I'm going to deal with it. And I'm going to deal with it on life's terms. So when you look at things for what they are, you're actually dealing with it. When you want to give anybody the benefit of the doubt and all that crazy shit, it's because you don't want to deal with the reality until it comes and slap you in the face. And then it's like, oh shit, now I have to deal with it, but how do I deal with it? Do I deal with it this way or that way? Now you're trying to form a solution to the problem that if you would have dealt with the problem already, saying that I know this shit is going to be here and this is how I'm going to react if this happens, I know it's coming. Not, yo, you know what, I don't see this happening. No, they've been showing you this shit for over 400 years. They're showing you this shit with everything that's happening to us up until the present day. That's facts. Ain't nothing been shown right now in present day time that hasn't been shown over 400 years in all our period. Before we was born, before our parents was born, before our grandparents was born and all that. And like you said, you laugh about all the clothes and the styles and all that. Everything comes and goes. Only thing that didn't go is the motherfucking oppression.
Yeah.
Keep your foot on their fucking neck. And what we say is, you know what? I'm dealing with this. And here goes to the point that I'm saying. The person said, you never dealt with nothing. Because the way I'm not going to deal with it is take it out on you. I ain't got to deal with him because I don't know how to deal with him. So I can take it out on you. I know how to deal with you.
And that kind of speaks to what I was saying as far as nothing great, or if you want to take the word great out of it because you're like, you don't know what's great. Nothing worth having comes from comfortability.
No,
so like
I'm saying once you get to a point, you become comfortable.
Let me finish my point. So like when we're comfortable, like you said, dealing with or being harsh towards our own, because we, like your example, you said we don't know how to deal with them, which would be uncomfortable because we don't know how to deal with them, right? I'll say them, right? But the thing worth having is to deal with them. Is it uncomfortable? Yeah, right? That's also why a lot of them, just like Sharon Osbourne, tying it back into when we first started talking about, she didn't want to have that conversation because it's uncomfortable, right? But it's a conversation worth having, right? It's a conversation that's going to move the needle. You know what I mean? So, to your point, yeah, I agree with you as far as like facing, we haven't dealt with anything, right? That speaks to what I was talking about as far as that, with you comfortable, 9 times out of 10, You know what I'm saying? You're not achieving anything worth achieving.
Let me tell you something, and this is one thing I believe, and it's just my opinion, and I'm gonna ride with my opinion. Everybody is comfortable. Everybody is comfortable. For the simple fact that, guess what? As long as I can fucking live in a house, as long as I can get out here and go to work, and my family is okay, and this shit ain't knocking at my front door, I'm comfortable. And the reason why I say that is this, because, and I go back, and you know what, like I said, and I'm going to say it again, no, I'm not in the Nation of Islam, and it's going to seem that way, but I like what I hear from Farrakhan. Guess what? The Jews did it, you know what I'm saying? But we are conditioned not to deal with it. And when we look at a Malcolm X, or we look at a Martin Luther King, nah, man, that's stirring the pot, man. Oh, yo, man, I don't want to look at that shit, man. And I get this from my own friends. Man, you just want to fucking, yo, you looking at that bullshit. I don't want to hear nothing about that shit, man. Nobody knew nothing about the fucking, how Trump could have overturned that election. But if that shit would have happened, guess what? Motherfuckers would have been like, yo, you know what? Damn, why did you just say that shit? Oh, you think you all that because you knew that shit? No, motherfucker. And like our sister said, the funny shit is, and this, she told me this the other day. She was like, yo, I'm going to tell you something. She was like, I think that you need to start speaking more, you know what I'm saying? Because your appearance, a motherfucker will look at you like, yo, he don't know shit. He just a regular hood motherfucker. But then when you open your mouth, they be like, yo, God damn, that motherfucker, he ain't no dummy. You know what I'm saying? And I, you know what I mean? I took that. You know what I'm saying? And like you told me one time, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep it real. I ain't going to say what, but you know, when I had went away, you know what I'm saying? And when I came home, everybody like, yo, you know, I'm proud of you. It's to the point where I ain't want to hear that shit. So I was telling people like, yo, stop saying that shit, man. Because I ain't do nothing that I wasn't supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? I lost myself and I was on some bullshit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was letting the stress and the anxiety of what I wanted to do to somebody overcome me. Because I swear to God, I was thinking about that shit every day. Either I'm going to kill somebody or somebody going to kill me. You know what I'm saying? So I went about it in the wrong way of trying to deal with it. I'm going to keep it all the way 1,000. You know what I'm saying? But as time went on, I said, yo, you know what? No, an older guy came to me and was like, yo, we just was talking. He's from Wilmington. He was like, yo, let me tell you something, man. Stop saying you don't want to hear somebody proud of you, man. He was like, because, yo, I'm going to tell you something. The first time I saw you, I was like, yo, this motherfucker right here going to be a problem. He don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? He just be sitting here listening to everybody, and then he get the fuck up and he get in that motherfucking car and go. You know what I'm saying? He gone. He ain't shaking hands or none of that shit, right? He was like, but I'm going to tell you something. I see the growth in you, man. He was like, and I'm being totally honest. I don't know you from a can of paint. And we now have a relationship, you know what I'm saying, where I call him, and, you know what I mean? Like, if something bothering me, I call him. You know what I'm saying? He laughs at me and shit because, you know, like I said, you got more patience than I do. I don't have patience for the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And he started noticing that, like, because I'll be sitting there and won't say nothing. You know what I mean? But that's why I say certain things don't bother me like that. You know what I'm saying? It's the unknown. When I'm in some shit that's unknown, that's where anxiety is at an all-time high. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because now I'm bugging out. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually losing my mind without totally losing my mind. But when you look at what we should be doing as a people, we not doing it. We don't want to deal with it. So the least path of resistance is to go along and get along. As long as I can be close to you and seem like you accept me, then I'm okay. My ego is soothed. I'm fine. But for me to sit here and know that you don't like me and you fronting, I don't want to think that. So I want to think the best in you. Nah, show me the best in you, and then I'll think the best in you. You understand what I'm saying? That's black or white.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck who you are. You show the best of you, I'm going to show you who I am, and either we going to get along or we not. Period, point blank. It ain't going to be no in between.
Yeah. I think that mindset definitely does exist, but I can say from personal experience, my circle don't think that way. I can only speak from my perspective and the conversations that I have. People are not comfortable, and I think they're less comfortable now in the current situation we're in, just with everything going on in the world. But I've never seen more or less comfortable people or heard people vocalize how uncomfortable they are and how uncomfortable they've been in my life. I've never had more conversations about the uncomfortable nature of our people, and I don't communicate with people who think like that, where it's just like, and it's not that I purposely avoid, but it's just like, yo, the people that are in my circle that I communicate with don't think like that. So I can say that, like, everybody that I communicate with is on it, like, yo, like you talking about, I want better for me and I want better for us. You know what I mean? Like, we need to figure out ways where, that's why I talked about, that's partly why I view the situation where somebody who can do better as far as like an ownership situation and chooses not to, why I think that's small-minded. All right? Because when you come together and you talk about like furthering your people, part of that is with ownership. We can't move the needle without some sense of ownership, right?
Like you said, if they give reparations, everybody can't own.
I'm not talking about reparations.
No, I'm saying, I'm speaking to the fact that everybody can't own.
Everybody can't. But I'm talking about the situation you brought up, because that was prior to you talking about reparations.
That's a choice.
Right, that is a choice. But what I'm saying is, with that choice, right? What I'm saying is that person, why I say that's small-minded, is that person doesn't have the mindset like you talking about, is like, yo, we collaborating and we moving the needle. You're not moving the needle doing that.
That's not true, because they could donate their money to help somebody else who might have aspirations in doing that.
Right. Well, my next point was going to be in regards to what you're saying, like Minister Farrakhan, yeah, he does have a lot of good points, and I'm not going to sit up in here in front like I'm following his every word and know everything that he speaks about in his speeches. But what I can say is this, from my perspective. This is my perspective. What I see a lot of times is there's a lot of great things being said, but not a lot of great actions being taken. I don't know what the holdup is. I know that a lot of people say, when you say that, they're like, well, this is not the time. It's strategic. You got to wait for the right time to do these things. And my response to that is, if now is not the right time, when is the right time? And I'm also talking to myself, we are way more powerful than we give ourselves credit for. I don't have to be Minister Farrakhan. He don't have to be Minister Farrakhan. But the thing with us is, you need some sense of you need to be substantial in on some right for people to follow you, whether you're right or wrong, right? I could say something, you could say something on this podcast today, and Minister Farrakhan say the same thing tomorrow. Right. People will follow it because Farrakhan said it, right? You said it first, and it was true. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He said it, now everybody follows it. Mm-hmm. So it's like that's where we are. I'm not saying that's not even just a black thing. That's a
systemic thing too.
Yeah, but it's like from my seat, I look at it and it's just like people have been saying these things for years. Right? We keep saying, like, we don't come together. But all people keep saying is we don't come together.
But, yeah, you're right about that. But here's the thing. Once again, people don't want to deal with the situation. They rather say they're dealing with it, but they don't want to deal with it.
But yeah, that's what
Like
I'm not saying you're wrong in that. But my point in saying what I said is, it's like you ever heard somebody say, don't bring me problems, bring me solutions. Mm-hmm. Nobody's bringing solutions.
Yes, they are.
Well, they're talking about solutions.
Okay, but guess what? In order for anything to happen, it has to be discussed. Correct?
It's been discussed for years.
No, it's been discussed for years. But like we said, everything we talked about, like you said, from things in the Bible and all of that. How you said, you see images of a white Jesus and things of that nature, right? Mm-hmm. People are willing to go along just to get along. Like prime example, and people might kill me for this, and we don't have to continue this because it's getting late. But here's the thing. And no, I'm not homophobic, but I'm speaking to the gay community. What does the Bible say about that?
It says it's an abomination.
Okay. So how is it now that we're going to say that's accepted in God's eyes and God made you?
You want me to tell you why?
What?
The reason why is because, one, the Bible was written by a man, right? That's one. Two, the LGBTQ community came together and they united, and that's what I'm saying. They united. They came together and united. So that's exactly what I'm talking about. They wasn't talking about this shit for tens of years or.
Yes, they was. But what they did, what they was able to do, pool their money. Hold on. Pool their money. Okay. And they were able to get politicians in.
What I'm saying is,
but that cost.
But they took action. They took action quicker than we did. But that's my point.
Here's the thing. We both saying the same thing. What I'm saying and what you're saying is, we are willing to go outside of us to build relationships opposed to building each other up. No matter how long it takes us to get to the top of the mountain, we're not willing to struggle with each other.
And I'll say this about the LGBTQ community, because I have friends in that community too. That community is impressive, man. They stick together. There ain't no division. Like when they got an initiative, they moving together. That community is impressive. I admire that community.
Now here's the thing too.
Well, what?
When they start protesting, guess what? Do you see them letting anybody latch on and fucking up their protest?
What do you mean latch on?
You got Black Lives Matter. Then you got the I forget the name now. The people that come behind them burning shit before the young boys go looting. Forget whatever their name is. You don't see nobody joining that shit because they ain't letting you.
Yeah, what do you mean? Like you're not
like
you can march with them.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. When Black Lives Matter march and they have a march and it's just them marching. Mm-hmm. You don't have the destruction of property that you have when what's the name latches.
You're talking about another organization. I got you.
You understand what I'm saying? When Black Lives Matter go and they got a big march, God damn it, man, I can't think of it.
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember the name either.
Yeah.
But what I'm gonna say in regards to that is, in regards to the LGBTQ community,
they won't have that fucking up there.
No, they won't, and I'm gonna tell you why. The reason they won't is because they also ain't gonna have nobody do nothing like that to their community without any consequences.
This is my point. Just like if you look at when the Nation of Islam threw the Million Man March, you ain't had no bullshit out there. You know why? Like I remember Farrakhan told America this shit, and I ain't gonna lie, I was scared to death for him. He said, "Yo, I know y'all want to kill me." I think Bush was the president. He was like, but number one, it's going to be hard as hell to try and do to me what y'all been doing to everybody else. And when y'all do, that will be the day. What do you say? The pigeons come on the roofs or some shit like that? The chickens come on the roofs.
I don't remember his exact words, but it was like it's going to be retaliation. You're going to have to pay for it.
Let me tell you something. That's real.
Yeah.
But see, we won't latch ourselves to nobody like that. oh, you know why? Oh man,
but that's what I mean.
Racism,
that's what I'm talking about as far as like with the LGBTQ community. There's no division, right? So like with us, just like and we can get into this another time. We kind of like we keep dipping our toes in it. We might as well talk about it one day. This is part of the reason why I don't like organized religion, like because you got all of these different sectors, right? That you all of you believe in God, but it's a different.
Not to cut you off, keep that thought. We're gonna continue this next show. Next show we just gonna get into it. Fuck it. We've been playing around.
Yeah, no, we begin like cause that's something I'm super passionate about too. Cause that.
But go ahead and finish your thought.
Nah, I mean we wait for it next time. Like I just think it's too much division. Like I said, I admire the LGBTQ community because they stick together and they move in as one. They move in unison, right?
Just like the Jews, you gotta respect them too.
I do. I'm talking about them because you brought them up. But like word, like and my friends that's in that community, I salute y'all. We would be remiss. It's Wednesday.
Dude, I got family on both sides.
Yeah.
My side and my wife's side in that community, and that's why I brought up the Jews and I brought up them. Guess what? You're not latching on to their protests and fucking up their name with no protest or nothing. And like I said, and like you were saying, we just was saying it so passionate that we was missing each other's point. That the whole thing is based on us coming together. I don't have to own a house, and I can own a house because I can pool my money with you to help somebody else. And we all go together and move on different. And one thing we need to do is change laws.
Yeah, but I think you kind of saying the same thing. What I'm saying is, if you got the ability to do it, you cast a larger net. Like what you talking about is like all right, well, if I don't want to do this, I can pool my money with you, and we can do it together like that. When it's like, okay, well, maybe both of us can do it, and that casts a larger net. We catch more fish that way. You know what I'm saying? But to each his own. That's why I say it's small-minded. Or it's just like, yo, like why take $5 when we can make $500? Like that's how I look at it. Like,
but that's like a fisherman saying, guess what? You eat fish, but instead of you going and catching your own fish, you go to the supermarket or a meat market and buy what he caught. You don't know what he did with that fish.
That is like saying that.
I said that's like saying he could look at you like you small-minded or me small-minded.
I'm not a fisherman.
Like you not going. Just because you ain't a fisherman don't mean you can't learn.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you said if you're a fisherman and you go to the supermarket and buy fish.
No, I said you like fish. You could go, instead of you going and catching your own fish, you making a choice to go somebody else catch fish.
That ain't the same. Because you said that the person could do it.
You could do it too.
No, what's the name? You have to learn to be a fisherman.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
No, you know how easy fishing is? Fishing, real talk. I ain't talking about just casting. You can get on a boat and drop your line straight down.
I know, but you also gotta know how to clean it and all that shit like that.
You can clean it on the boat.
I'm talking about me going by myself. You said you.
No, I'm saying you. You be on the boat.
Right. So if me by myself, I can catch a fish. Cool. I don't know how to clean it and all that.
If you go on a boat, that's their job on the boat to clean it.
I'm talking about just me. I'm talking about just me.
Well, guess what? You could go catch the fish and get it clean, but you caught the fish. You know where that fish came from. Yeah.
And then I would have to, what's the name? But me personally, I don't think that's the same example. I think it's apples on. It's not. It is. What's the name? Because in the sense of buying a house, if you're able to, all you need is credit and the finances. We're saying that person has that, they can go do that.
But you're also saying that you don't have to have that good of credit to get a credit.
So that makes it even easier for them.
Okay, but if they choose not to, that's their choice.
I'm talking about from the first of our people.
No, I'm saying that they could pool their money. Everybody in the LG community, I don't even say that. In the gay community,
but that's offensive to them.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. But at the end of the day, that's, you know what I mean? I don't know them letters, and I'm not going to sit here and be doing all that. It's the gay community to me.
But I'm saying,
I don't mean no offense.
I know you don't mean no offense, but what you saying?
All right, well, I apologize. So guess
I know, but what I'm saying to you is this, like, and I ain't condemning you. What I'm saying is, that same thing, right? That happens to us, and we take offense to it.
No, it don't. Like what?
If somebody called you a Negro, you would take that?
Son, at the bottom line to the whole shit is,
I'm just saying.
when I grew up, it wasn't no letters.
I know. That's right, but now,
They will tell you
before you grew up, when Uncle Frankie grew up, they called them Negroes.
Well, no, when I grew up, they didn't call
I said when Uncle Frankie grew up.
Okay, well, listen.
Or colored, right?
Yeah.
You can't do that now.
Yes, you can.
That's not accepted right now.
Okay.
I'll say. Ain't nobody called me a Negro or called me colored, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, we growing, we expanding, right? So that's what I'm saying.
The bottom line to the whole shit is, if you don't come together and realize that we need to step on each other's back and use each other's knees, toes, feet, shoulders to get ahead, it'll never happen.
That's a fact. And that's why I said, if you're in a position to do that, you would be somebody can stand on their back because you were catapulting the next person. That's why I said we have a responsibility. That's just like when they talk about, like, I'll take it to sports, like, so everybody can understand. If you were a sports person,
everybody don't want to hear the sports.
All right, well, I'm gonna put it into a sports analogy. When they talk about the contracts in sports, when players come to the table, they have a responsibility to the rest of the league, regardless of the league, to take the best deal possible. So the next guy that comes to the table to get the finances to continue to move forward, and the players can continue to make more money. That's the same thing. Like, if you are in a position to do that, you should do it, and that's why.
Not though, man.
Huh?
Because you have the ability to buy a house, you're making a choice whether you want to do it. What you want to do with your money is what you want to do with it.
So
that's not building up the community.
Alright.
It's not.
Huh? How do we get all black communities in?
Everybody gotta fucking want to be in the same community. You got an all black community in Mount Vernon.
Huh?
You got an all black community.
We got a mostly black community in this neighborhood.
In Wilmington. In this neighborhood too.
Yeah.
Okay. But people made choices.
Right.
Okay. That's their choice. That don't make them no better or no worse than
I didn't say it made them better.
When you saying somebody small-minded, you making it seem
you're
like...
taking it... That's you saying making it seem, so you're making an assumption.
Okay.
I did not say out of my mouth that we were better.
But exactly, like you said about when I tried to put it to your situation and what you made a choice to do and what you chose to eat. Period. That was your choice. That was your choice.
Off my finances.
Chris,
You're talking about somebody that can afford it.
But it don't matter your finances. Your choice is your choice.
All right.
You have a choice to make your finances better, or you have a choice to do other things with your time.
Okay.
Like you said, your time.
Like I said,
everybody have choices.
You're right.
And we make choices
to
go along to get along.
I don't make a choice to say we just not going to understand each other on that point. We talking on different planes. We had 3 hours. We're going to continue this next week. This is the 8672 podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Wise. Peace. Like, comment, subscribe.
Word. We'll talk to y'all next week.
Peace.
Peace.